Night Owls.
Turn on Night Owls.
Greatest Hits Radio.
And now, the forerunner to Facebook, where your words tell 1,000 Instagrams. Use your phone for making that call. And get talking across the northeast, please. Because this is Night Owls with Alan Robson.
Welcome to the Night Owls. Alan Robson with you, and a perfect picture should you be watching this on Facebook and YouTube. If you're just listening, well, I think you've won the competition thus far. For tonight, I came in a leopard skin top hat, which is, of course, rhyming slang for what I look like. Leopard skin hat, bit of a trendsetter, I think is the word I was scratching for. So what are we talking about tonight? Got a lot of stuff. Looking forward to talking to you. Setting you a challenge, and the challenge tonight is my family is weird because. Now, you're going to have to go a fair way to beat my family, because my family is weird, because I think everybody, if you look deep enough, has a bit of a weird family. My sister was a nun. She's not, family weren't Catholic at all. She decided she didn't want to believe Church of England-y things, which you get labelled with whether you believe or whether you don't. And that's what we were. Dad, Mum didn't really care much about religion. Sister decided to become a Catholic. And then she watched The Sound of Music 121 times, taking me close to 30 times, which is tantamount to child abuse. And then she became a nun, wasn't an asset to the Abbey, left the convent, married a German, had children, and they danced around fountains. So, that takes a bit of beating. Can you beat it? My family is weird. Now, we've already had a few of these messages in, and remember, you can WhatsApp your message on 07863 431 837. I'll give you that number again. It's the quickest and easiest way to get through. You don't have to be in a queue. And you can also, if you want to go on air, just tell us 07863 431 837. That's the WhatsApp number, and we will call you back. No worries. So, your family's weird. How? Lorraine's mum collects in cardboard boxes all of the perfume bottles she's had since she was 10. She's 61 now, and she's got thousands. This one came from Tony. My sister Claire collects all of the My Little Pony stuff. Now, you think that's cute. She's 38, right? David's dad, Eddie, tries to break wind to the music on radio and television. That's not great. And my dad used to, he loved his food, but if ever anybody brought a dog into the house, he'd instantly put his plate on the floor and let the dog eat it. Because I always worried about I was going to get the plate next, and dog slaver and stuff. So my family is weird. My 23-year-old brother bites his toenails. Hell's teeth. My sister Kate, this is awful. I'm not going to give a surname, but I could. My sister Kate French kissed our stepdad. Yuck. My mum's not with him anymore. I'm not surprised. Phil says his cousin couldn't get into the police and is currently a burglar. Well, he's not actually. He's currently a prisoner, but his job seems to have become a burglar, so he's a bit of a scummer. And other things we want you talking about. Labour say we must never shut down the country again over any kind of bug or disease. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Djokovic refused to... I always thought that was a problem you got in your underpants. Oh, I've got Djokovic. But apparently... he was refused to get into Australia because he refused to get any injections. He's been kicked out of Australia. He can't defend his title now and all the rest of it. So whether you're right, whether you're wrong, where do you stand on that? Emma Jane, I'm the weird one of the whole family, being the only pagan and witch. Yeah, that would set you apart. I just hope you haven't got the accompanying twisty nose and a big wart. 0191 488 3188. Other stories. Julie says her mum died of COVID and sent me a very long message about Djokovic. Boris Johnson has to go, says Ian, because he lies about everything. He lied about Brexit, the NHS getting money, COVID, parties. Every single thing he says is a lie. Do you agree? And if he is to go, who's going to take his place? Who's a Tory that you trust? That's a hard shout. A Labour one you trust? That's a hard one. Anybody else that you trust? Tricky, isn't it? Also, a brawl in McDonald's in Piccadilly in Manchester. Where is the worst fight you've ever seen? What was that all about? A vast majority of the UK have enough immune system to fight off Omicron. So why are we going through all of this dance with it? And the UK, any of our people that go to Europe now will have to pay an absolute fortune, and we're talking three-figure sums to use your mobile phone in Europe now that we're out of the EU. Not going to bother everybody, but if you go, you're going to feel that. 0191 488 3188. Get your calls in. There's an awful lot about, well, embarrassing family members. So the Ben's plopped in the bath and it's floating around and your dad's washing his hair.
With it.
With it?
Yeah.
What, he thought it was the soap? Oh, no. Oh, whoa. Did he have brown hair?
Well, yeah.
Eventually, probably. Oh, that's disgusting. That is a disgusting story. Mind you, there is something else that I have to say. If you've got a best friend, you kind of try to share as much with them as you possibly can. Well, sometimes they are brought to my attention.
Friend got a downstairs pastor.
You're kidding.
Nah.
But you had your nipple pierced. Did that not knack?
It did for about an hour after I had it done. For about an hour and a half, 2 hours, it stung.
Were you in the salon when she was getting hers done?
Mm-hmm.
But she was getting it done, like, down there.
Down there, aye.
She must have screamed. You must have heard her.
I didn't. But when she came out, she was walking normally. And I thought she hadn't had it done. I thought she'd taken. I thought I went to her house and I made her drop her pants up and have a look.
So what does it look like then?
Hers looks awful.
And what about the piercing?
That looks not bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I couldn't resist it at all. Also, if you got somebody in your family that keeps playing practical jokes.
It's an oldie but a goodie.
What did you do then?
You get a shampoo bottle and put the Imac hair removal, melt and stuff in it.
No.
And leave it in the shower.
No.
So if anybody at Time Out swimming pools like had that happen to them, I put my hand up in his mitt.
Oh, what? So you've just like, I don't know, a proper shampoo bottle
Yeah,
full
you gotta
of...
make sure it's a good brand, so they're gonna use it.
Right, and then it's full of Imac hair remover, so when they get home, they're bald.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. It's clever, but it's disgusting.
Yeah.
Bad boy. Now, just because we're having such a good time, let me tell you a joke that you've all heard before from David Johnson in Jarrow. Listening to the show is awesome as always. Here's a joke. What did the girl mushroom say to the boy mushroom? You're a fun guy. Can you do better? Funnily enough, I started jotting things down because years and years ago, we played a game called What If Every Movie Ever Made or TV program was made in the Northeast? What would all of those movies be called? Come up with some good ones. Now you see them. Now you don't see them. Yeah, there you go. We also have The Wolf of Wallsend and The Coat of Many Colour Coats. Boogie Sunderland, come on. And The Burrowers was on TV today. So we've called it The Burrowers. The Burrowers. Yeah. People who support Middlesbrough are Burrowers. Westgate Hill Has Eyes. Mm-hmm. Saturday Night Heaver. Mm-hmm. Cartoons. The Dooney Toons. There you go. Big Market Lebowski. Rusty Man. Live and Eat Pies. There you go. What a Bond film that would be. Live and Eat Pies. Boom, boom. And Woody Allen once made a movie called Everything You Need to Know About Sex. Of course, were that to be made up here in the North, everything you need to know about Greg's, but we're afraid to ask. If you could come up with some movies, TV shows, were they made in the North? Obviously, Venom, which they've had Venom 2's come out. It would be Phenom 1 and Phenom 2. Sean Parry says, I'm a bit of a weird one in the family. I actually spot Eddie store-bought trucks. I know that's a bit of a thing, and some people collect even the toy Eddie Star. I think they do like a corgi one. And Gene Fraser says, sounds like a Kenny joke to me. Gene, don't go there. I know my heart sinks when he starts to. 0191 488 3188. What are we going to talk about? Let's get a call in. Now, Emily is with us in North Shields. Now, we were in North Shields doing our ghostly habnab last on Friday night from the site where Wilkinson's Pop Factory used to be, which was, of course, flattened by a Junkers 88 on the night of the 3rd into the 4th of May in 1941. Incredible story. We told the whole thing and lots of associated tales. Emily is from North Shields, wanting to talk about that and other things. Hello, Emily.
Hi, Alan. Nice to talk to you.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for coming on. Tell me everything, because this is... when you do a show like that, you always hope that it has some kind of impact in the place that you're aiming it for, which, of course, was North Shields. And it looks like we've struck a chord with you and your family. Tell me everything.
Oh, definitely. I've thoroughly enjoyed your film.
Thank
was
you.
really, really good.
Pleasure.
Basically, my nana and granda very narrowly escaped that bombing.
So where were they at the time?
I've just been on the phone with my mum to get the information, so I've got it right.
Thank you, great.
They'd been out to the cinema that night. They were on their way home and the sirens went off.
Right.
And they looked for the nearest shelter, which happened to be Wilkinson's.
Right.
So they went in, joined the crowd, and that was part of the problem. It was just far too crowded.
Yeah.
Noisy, and apparently very smelly.
Right.
So, the wait up should the station would go. No, they ended up leaving.
Right.
Into their way home. They didn't leave very far.
No, there was room for 98, which still sounds an awful lot to me.
It does.
There was room for 98, and Emily Lee was the woman who was the warden of the shelter, who was a big Geordie. We've got enough in here. Get yourself away. But she allowed 107 in first. So there was 107 left. So there would have been 109 had they not left. So where did they go to? Where did they go to?
They went home. They didn't live very far away, a few streets away, in fact.
Right.
So they went home to their own shelter. And I don't know, I said 5 minutes on my comment. I don't know how accurate that is, but not long after the bomb dropped, and had they not made the decision to leave, I wouldn't be here telling you the tale now.
Wow. Because the thing that we'd known was that this plane didn't have a target, apparently. It was just, it was sent out just to be a nuisance, find a city, drop a bomb, cause as much terror, because it's to generate terror before the invasion is what it was all thought about. And we only ever knew where 2 of the bombs fell. One fell just up the road from Wilkinson's, number 3 George Street, which is now a church.
A church, yeah.
And the other one obviously hit Wilkinson's, and all the heavy bottling machinery fell through the floor and crushed the people therein.
It doesn't bear thinking about, does it?
But it just showed. But now we know because there was only 4 bombs. Now we know where at least the 3rd bomb hit, because it hit their street. Did they have a shelter in the backyard? Because a lot of people did.
I think so.
Right.
I think they must have, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So were they buried?
To be honest, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know much about it. That's about as much as I know.
Right.
And we lost my nana 10 years ago, so I can't even ask her anymore. Tell you, But I just know we're extremely lucky.
No, absolutely.
That we're here, that we're here,
Because the things that tend to be written down about And I've found this because obviously all the places we go, I check through history and I'll see, is there any World War II story connected with whichever place we're going to? And if somebody dies, there's a record of it. If a bomb blew somebody's house down, it made 4 people homeless, parents and a couple of kids, you don't hear about it. Instead, they'll say there were other bombs and 26 people were... But you don't get the individual stories like this one about your
the carpet, isn't it?
I know, but I just think that's so unfair because people should know about these things. And of course, the Wilkinson's factory story, they kept everybody quiet, sworn to secrecy, because they didn't want the story to go out because it would have horrified and terrified anybody that ever went into a shelter, because this was wiping out an entire... The shelters are supposed to be the place of safety. And of course, this one wasn't. But wow, how about that? I mean, I just think it's hard, especially for people of my generation, but probably even more so for people of yours, because that your entire family line could have been wiped out right there.
Well, that's true, yeah. I mean, Nana's father was part of the air raid patrol.
Right.
So he had to go around and, retrieve all bits of bodies, limbs, and bits hanging from trees, and just a horrible, gruesome picture.
And it was part of it. And the ARP, the ARP they used to have written on the tin hats, apparently, air raid precautions. They were the ones that had to shout up with people, switch that light out, shut your blackout curtains and all this kind of stuff.
It's like what you see on Dad's Army.
It's exactly that, but you don't see them picking arms out of trees.
No.
That's
no,
for
you
sure.
Don't.
Absolutely
it's
amazing.
Probably a good thing.
No, it is for sure.
There is a fantastic book. I was just telling, is it Chris?
Chris, yes.
Yeah, there is a really, really good book called North Shields 173, written by a man called Peter Bolger, who I think is going to try and get hold of because he obviously will have a great deal of information.
Brilliant.
His book was really good,
Peter
very
Bolger.
informative, very sad, but it's really informative. So it might be worth a chat with him.
No, absolutely.
Get hold of him.
If Chris has already got the details out, we'll chase it up. But fabulous to talk to you, Emily. Thank you for coming on, because this fleshes it out. Because when you tell a story, it's not the same as here's somebody whose family almost were wiped out, and therefore your life and the life of your parents wouldn't have been what it was. It's just absolutely amazing. Thank you, Emily. Bless you, darling. Thanks for coming on.
That's all right. I was going to say, long time listener, first time caller, but then I remembered I whipped out your What's It years ago, Alan.
Hey! I wonder where it went.
But no, Nana, who we're talking about, was a massive fan of yours, and I remember late 80s, early 90s, snuggling up in bed with her listening to Night Owls. We've always been big fans of yours, so thank you for all you do.
Well, thanks for being there. Cheers, Emily. Take care of yourself.
No problem. Take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Isn't she fantastic? Nana and Granda just escaped, and that's where the third bomb went off in Shields. Does anybody know where the fourth one? Because history wipes it off. I was told, they think they landed in the sea. We know one of them didn't. It flattened Emily's Nana and Grandad's house. Amazing. The things, when you go to a place and tell the history, that everybody in Shields should know that, because it's in your backyard. Everybody should know the history of their own patch. And we're working our way around the north, doing a bit of education. 0191 488 3188. A couple more of those. If every film ever made was made in the northeast, I'll give you 2 more of them. A Fistful of Gyros, Lobley Hills Cop, Blythe Spartacus. Any more films made in the north that you can think of? 0191 488 3188. Or WhatsApp us, and the telephone number for that is 07863 431 837. Or you can ring us, of course, to come on air. I'd love you to do that. 0191 488 3188. We are Greatest Hits Radio Northeast. It is time for us to play one of said greatest hits. And I can remember going to the Odeon Cinema when it was putting gigs on to see this bloke many, many moons ago, and wearing me velvet jacket. And I didn't sprinkle glitter in my hair like a lot of people did. A lot of the girls certainly did, and had it on their faces and all over the place, because that person and that band, Mark Bolan and T-Rex. Hi, everybody. Kenny and I, of course, ready. Hollywood McShane behind the camera. Welcome to another one of Alan Robson's Night Owls Ghost Hunts. My goodness, why are we here? Where the hell are we? We're in North Shields. Now, we were suggested to come here by one of you guys. We're very grateful because you pointed us to an incredible story, a story that you can actually get on a little blue plaque outside the building. A bomber. This was on the night of the 3rd of May into the 4th of May, round about midnight, the witching hour, during World War II, 1941, 3rd or 4th of May, a plane flew over. Now, it didn't have a target. Other German planes were traveling up the Tyne, which is just over there, and trying to hit Vickers factory, the tank factory, the munitions factory, where my mum was putting the explosives into bombs, coincidentally. Other planes were given a job to be nuisances. They didn't have a particular place to hit, so they just waited till they saw towns or cities, which is why everybody had to black out. Yeah. And if they saw a town or city, they would drop a bomb. This plane dropped 4 bombs. 2 of them went into the Tyne, 1 in the sea, 1 in the Tyne. 1 bomb landed right here. If you can see, there's a missing house. You got older houses on both sides, but you got this new thing in the middle. North Shields Evangelical Church. This was number 3 George Street. This is George Street running up here. Now, George Street, busy. There's another story about George Street that I hope to tell you later. We're not going to get knocked over. There's a car. So, you're laughing when you went past. That was all right. There's another story about George Street, but I'll tell you later on because it has a bearing kind of on what this was. There were 2 people in their 60s living in here, and they were asleep in bed at the time, and they never woke up. A bomb took out the entire building, flattened it, damaged the buildings to the sides. They've subsequently been repaired, but this was a bomb. The second bomb, this was slightly worse because the place where we are tonight is a community hall that's much loved. And the weird thing is, you know, a lot of people give the folk of North Shields a hammering for any chance they get. The South has always had a thing about the Northeast. Everywhere in the Northeast is smoky, it's dull, it's miserable, it's violent, it's criminal, and all of that. I hate all of that. I put a blog on Robson's World about it recently. Check it out. It's about the Meadowell business, what happened behind the scenes. And there was a lot of naughty things going on there. However, here we are at the North Shields East End Youth and Community Centre, Kettlewell House. And there's a little blue plaque here. And let's just show you the plaque first, and then I'll tell you what actually happened. This was the site, this entire block, including the house that's over there, which is brand new. This was the site of Wilkinson's lemonade factory, and it was very, very well known. Everybody had Wilkinson's lemonade. This was pre-Coca-Cola. This was the local brew. This is the one that people would have in their house. Wilkie's lemonade. Now, between the 3rd and 4th of May, a direct hit from an enemy aircraft destroyed the air raid shelter in this factory basement. 107 people were killed, including 43 children. The youngest child was 2 months old. Whole families perished. It was the largest loss of life single bomb incident during the Blitz. And a second bomb killing the 2 residents I've just shown you down at number 3 George Street. In memoriam, it gets a blue plaque, deservedly so. And if there should be any building that's haunted, it should be this one. No question about it. Why was it such a big deal and why did it kill so many people? I can tell you. Now, imagine what a lemonade factory would look like inside. Now, first of all, it had 3 or 4 stories. This was a huge building. But what was on the ground floor? all your heavy stuff, your bottling plant, huge metallic machines whizzing, putting labels on bottles, filling bottles full of liquid, hundreds after hundreds after hundreds, plants and buildings at the side where they had trays and trays of full. Now, try lifting a tray of, and this was glass bottle time, all glass bottles. Now, on top of that, they had 20, 30,000 glass bottles all stacked empty and 20 or 30,000 bottles stacked full. Imagine the weight on the floor. Now, when they designated this as an air raid shelter, they were told, Mr. and Mrs. Wilkinson, probably not the family, but whoever was in charge, they said, what do you need to turn this into an air raid shelter? And he says, that's fine. They can have the basement. And they says, well, we'll give you anything you need to make sure that the basement's strong enough. And instead of actually saying, well, hang on, we could put a few extra struts up to hold the building, give it some more support. Instead of doing that, they said, well, give us £35, quite a lot of money at the time. And they gave them 35 quid. Now, at first they thought, well, they're going to put up some more beams to hold the ceiling. Because before anything happens, you've got that huge bottling plant. Yeah. There were also apparently huge vats of chemicals that they used in the process. And of course, all of that glass, if it doesn't bear thinking about. Well, when the bomb hit, it was a death trap. It was just ready and waiting to happen. And the whole place went up, kaboom. The top floor hit the second floor, which hit the third floor, which landed on the ground floor. All of that extra weight on top of the bottling plant, and it just went straight through the floor and crushed all the people underneath. Now, there's a woman called Ellen Reid, who was the Ellen Lee, sorry, got the name wrong. Ellen Lee. Definitely.
This is Night Owls on Greatest Hits Radio.
You never know who's going to call next.
0191 488 3188.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Got a whole batch more coming in. You're piling up with these movies. Thank you very much. Keep them coming. We've just had Butch Cassidy and the Sunderland Kid. We've also had Rio Baker, Northumberland Redemption. That just came in from Sean. Also from Ange, we've had Star Wars, Return of the Jedi. Harry Potter and the Half-Drunk Chav. Very good. Raiders of the Saltwell Park. Mm-hmm. And we also have Tony, High Spend Drifter. There you go. I think that's probably his title. And David says, I was wondering who started Night Owls at the very, very, very beginning. It was a man called Richard Roundtree. He did a talk show across the daytime, and then he was asked to do on an evening and used the phrase, and from that point on, it stuck. Anyway, let's crack on. Carla is with us. She is in Kent. Hello, Carla.
Hi, Alan. How are you?
I'm very well, darling. What can we do for you?
Well, I've been meaning to speak to you for many, many years now, because I met my partner 10 years ago.
Right.
And I had really bad anxiety and I couldn't sleep. And I literally woke up in the middle of the night, like literally petrified of death.
Oh, my goodness.
And I always listened to, obviously, things about the afterlife and stuff. And he said, have you ever heard of this guy called Alan? And I was like, no. And he literally, your voice was like a blessing.
Thank you.
And it was so soothing. He says, I know, listen, I've listened to your stuff through and through, especially the Spain rules.
Right. Yeah.
And I've been meaning to speak to you because you literally have saved my soul, basically. You've got me to. I say you've got me to sleep with your lovely voice.
Yeah, but I'm trying to keep you awake, Carla. It's defeating the entire object of me being here.
I know, but literally, I've subscribed to your channel. I've watched your videos, and I've paid for your downloads and
bless
stuff.
you. Thank you.
And I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions.
Absolutely, anything.
Okay, so my first question is back in the day, you used to have music in the background, and you used to really sort of go into detail, especially with the Spine Road story.
Yes.
And why do you not do that anymore?
Different station, and the station wants me to play greatest hits and have a nice light chat. They don't particularly want us to go into all things ghosty, spooky, and scare the pants off people. Different station, that's all. So there may well be a time when we're doing other things, perhaps on our own, where we can go into all of that detail again with a little bit of music behind to spookify it up again. But it's just I'm working for a different company now who want us to do the kind of thing we're doing now. But that was
because I think what you do, Alan, with a lot of people, and I don't mean to interrupt you, what you do and what you have done for a long time is you have comforted a lot of the audience in the past with them stories, because I was so petrified of death, like I had to go on medication and stuff. But with your stories and experiences, you was my sort of antidote. And I've been wanting to talk to you for a long, long time. I think it was a year ago that I first got the message. Do you want to speak to Alan? And I never used to keep my eyes open.
Right.
I was in bed by 7. I was like, I can't.
Wow. Right.
And obviously I kept updated with your podcast and stuff. And I think you've stopped doing your podcast now.
Yeah, I'm doing written blog. I'm doing written blogs instead on Robson's World that you can get to and watch the back catalogue of as well. So
yeah, I've got that.
Great.
Oh, I just wanted to say my other half is a Geordie as well. He's like through and through Geordie. I met him on holiday 10 years ago, like I say.
Did he have a translator with him?
Do you know what? He had me at Way Man. Honestly, he was sitting on a bench in Ibiza. I walked past him and went, Way Man, and I went, oh my God, you're a Geordie, because I was a big fan of Geordie Shore at the time. I was like, I'm going to bag myself for Geordie. I really am, because I'm like, because obviously, as you can say from my accent, I'm from Kent, but I'm originally from South London.
Right. Yeah.
And any one of his friends out there, his name is Daniel Mulgray. And any one of his Geordie friends who are out there, he's doing fine. I'm looking after him, and we've got 2 little bins.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's cool. Great.
Anything you want to ask me, Alan?
No, just how's he worked out as a partner? Is he all right?
Oh, do you know what? He's the best. Like, I want to say he's not. Well, I call him my husband now, because obviously the common law.
Sure.
After 6 months, you're common law. But he's the best guy like you would ever meet. Honestly, he does everything for the family. He works offshore.
Right.
So yeah, I couldn't ask for a better guy. Honestly,
right.
He's amazing. And I don't know. Have you heard of a place called Wide Open?
Wide Open, of course. Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's where my in-laws are from. So I want to say hello to Anne and Stephen Arnold, if you're listening, or if anyone knows them.
Right.
They're perfect in-laws, and I just wish I lived up north. I really do.
Well, hey, you're welcome anytime. But lovely talking to you, Carla. Thank you very much for coming on. I'm glad I was useful to some degree. Thank you very much.
No, you've been a blessing. Thank you, Alan.
Thanks, love. Bye-bye. That's just nice stuff. 01914 888 3188. Or WhatsApp us on I'm going to have to learn this. 07863 431 837. And we'll call you back if you want to come on, or we'll take down whatever you're suggesting. Getting some more of those, if every movie was made in the Northeast, what would they be called? From Stanley with Love. Pie Another Day. There you go. For Your Thighs Only. That's another Greg's reference. And Barbara Streisand made a movie called The Way We Were back in the day. I think it was her. We've got Had a Way We Were. It was pretty good. And Carry On films. If they were made in the Northeast, what would they be called? We've got Carry On Claiming. I think that was yesteryear. 01914 888 3188. Keep them coming. Let's talk to some more of you. We're heading off to North Shields, where we've got Christine. Hello, Christine.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, darling. Thanks for calling. What can we do for you?
Well, it's about your live show the other night.
Right.
Just a couple of comments. So you said there was no record. I've got a book with all the deaths, all the survivors written in.
Yes. No, what I was saying was that during the war they kept it quiet and nobody told the story till well after the war because they thought it was bad propaganda.
Yeah. And the place you were at wasn't Wilkinson Shelter.
Explain, because there's a big plaque on the wall saying that it was.
Yeah, it was it was the nearest building, because it was on the corner of George Street and King Street.
Yes,
So
it was the building
along the road.
According to the people that run it, it was that building that we were in, plus the house on the end, which is the corner that runs up with that street. And some of their warehousey side bits were on the opposite side of the other road from where they were. That's what I was showing. I was showing that they don't have photographs of it, which I thought was quite strange. But I did see a plan of it.
I had a lot of family in there.
Right.
My auntie Minnie Matthews. That was my mum's sister.
Right.
And she was on the middle level with the children that you're talking about.
Right.
And it went dark all of a sudden, and the warden was shouting through, "Can you see a light?" And apparently she passed a few of the children through there.
Right.
My mum was on the ground, on the bottom floor.
Right.
With two of her aunties who were twins. And she was sat on the knees. One was killed outright because she bent over to protect my mum.
Right.
The other one had half her head blown away and ended up with a plate in her head. And then my mum went missing.
Went missing?
Yeah. And then this lady took her in. And we Nana was away seeing her husband at the time. And then I came back and she was going in all the shops asking, can we find him? I think, not 100%, I think it was a wool shop.
Right.
My Nana was in and this woman walked in with my mum and she said, "That's who I'm looking for."
Right. That's fascinating, isn't it? Amazing.
My mum's not here at the minute.
Right.
But Auntie Alice was killed.
Right.
But never found her whole body.
No, that was the case with quite a few of them because of there was a lot of vats full of chemicals and a lot of, obviously if you've got thousands of bottles above you and the floor crashes in, blimey, can you imagine what an awful way to go for those poor people.
Yeah. My mum, her sister Millie's still alive. She's in the book.
Right.
Peter Folger wrote the book.
Right, that's right. I've just been recommended it.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, I had the book.
Right.
Lent it out, didn't get it back.
That's what happens.
And Peter's actually been to my house today with one of the last copies.
Oh, wow.
So if you need a copy, you need to get in touch.
I will certainly do that. That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Christine. Great to hear from you. Tremendous.
So that long ago, there's different stories, but I think that's what I can remember my mum saying.
Yeah, that's great. Fantastic.
And then
living history.
I'm in that building on a Friday morning at the minute for a Choose to Lose class.
All right.
And when I seen you were in there, I was like, "Ooh, creepy crawly." I was shocked because I didn't think it was there.
Right.
And then the auntie says, "No, it was further along a bit."
Right.
Because it must have been one of the side of buildings.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've seen the plan, in the bit where the bottling plant is, the main part stretched from about halfway along that building, the community hall, and the entire house that was next door to the right, if that makes any sense. Yeah. Hey, no, but fascinating. Keep enjoying it. And thank you very much for calling, Christine. Good to hear from you.
No problem.
Cheers, love. Bye-bye. How about that? You see, you get to get it all fleshed out. 0191 488 3188. Oh, here we go. Good to hear you again, Alan. All the very best. Who is this from? Sean. From the lads at the Port of Tyne NSA tonight. Good to hear from you. I'm a carer from Gateshead, and a few weeks ago I was in a client's house and she asked who was in my car. I replied, no one. A few weeks later, my colleague asked how I got in a client's house so fast. And I replied, I'd been sitting here for 20 minutes. And she said she swore I'd just been sitting in my car and even looked at her. I've also felt feet digging into the back of my chair while driving. Love the show. Sean, well, keep your eye on that back mirror. There you go. Sean and Eddie from Ikmela in Turkey. Fantastic. Sean and Eddie, have a blitzingly good time. Enjoy. One of the highlights, and I don't know whether you've... Try and get a Turkish breakfast. You know, because everybody says, English fried breakfast, Scottish fried breakfast, Irish fried... Try a Turkish one. Amazing. Loads of like little bits of flatbreads and stuff to put on them, and this cherry stuff. Amazing. Try one if you get the chance. But good. Enjoy your break, whatever chance you get to escape. You absolutely should do it. We have Claire next, and she is in the city of Durham. Hello, Claire.
Hi, Alan. You all right?
Yes, I'm good. What are you up to then?
I'm now just ringing up to talk about Chillingham Castle.
Okay, yeah. What about it?
We went to stay over Christmas.
Oh, wow.
We stopped Christmas Eve and Christmas night and Boxing Night.
Oh, wow.
But I go quite often. We were there in October. We stayed in October, and
Right.
we went back in December, and the damage, the storm, the storm that hit in November.
What happened to it? What's happened to it? The trees.
All the trees. Yeah, they've all blew down, and
oh no.
Really sad to say, because you know yourself, it's stunning, isn't it? The trees have been there for hundreds of years.
So is that all the trees? I mean, because it's surrounded by them.
Majority up the driveway. Majority either side have gone. Yeah.
Oh, that's just wrong, isn't it? I wonder if the tree that Sage was hanged from's gone, because that's up there. It's about a third one from the gate on the right hand side if you're leaving. If that makes sense.
Yes, I think majority of them ones are. That's sad.
Oh, it's awful.
It's sad to see.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, how did you get on? Did you get anything while you were there?
When my daughter woke up on Christmas night, crying, since you could hear someone playing with a ball. I didn't hear it myself, but she's only 7, and she did actually get a ball for Christmas. So
right, yeah. But you never know. The thing with kids, you don't know, because you haven't really, you don't have that much influence really, because their imagination's just started and it's on fire, isn't it?
Yeah. But we had, I've told you that story about the butterfly story, about Darcy the butterfly.
Yeah.
And we stopped at Chillingham in October, staying in the Grey apartment overnight.
Yeah.
And as soon as we got there, it was about 4 o'clock, and I heard like tapping at the window, the one that overlooks the courtyard.
Right, so if there's somebody tapping on that, it's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah. But it was a butterfly in the window, inside the window, trapped inside.
Oh, that's
so I didn't
beautiful.
think anything of it, and I held it and I let it go out the window. Then a second later, on the opposite window that looks over the driveway, meaning the gates, and that, there was another butterfly, and so we go on 2 butterflies.
It's kind of like beyond coincidence.
Yeah.
After a while.
So I let it go, but fast forward to December, on Christmas Day, we were in the dairy. No, Lancy was stopped.
Yeah.
I heard tapping on the window, and there again, another butterfly.
That's nobody get that's a
December.
It's like I know. First of all, they're not. There's no butterflies in December, are there?
And that's what I was thinking. And then I let that one out, and then there was another one again. Two. Weird. It was just, I don't know.
Their breeding cycle's downright peculiar up in Chillingham. I mean, I always thought they were like a spring-summer thing, and then
I know.
Amazing. But I mean, with your story about butterflies, it all kind of ties, doesn't it? It's great.
Yeah. It's just weird to see 2. Like, second time I've been there. Recently, 2 been there. Yeah. Well, it sat my finger for ages and let it go, but it might be just coincidence. And I did Google about sometimes that can wake up in hibernation when it's warm. I don't know.
Yeah, when was it warm?
Well, I had the fire on, so I don't know if it's knock some heat out. Them log burners in them room do knock some heat out.
Yeah, that is true. It's just that they don't live in rooms normally. You know.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
Oh, I had a lovely time though, because the first time the two youngest children have been, and
right.
Lord Humphrey was there, and he was in the courtyard, and he was talking away to the three children for a while. Lovely,
sweet.
Lovely, had a lovely time.
What did you do for your Christmas dinner then?
It's self-catering, so just took our own food and cooked it there in the apartment.
Oh,
yeah.
Fantastic. I can't think of anything. You know, I love adventures. What an adventure that is. Never thought, well, why, what happened to your Christmas dinner? Well, I cooked it. You know, what's the problem? That's tremendous. What a great thing to do. I mean, out of all the Christmases, you're going to remember that one forever, that's for sure.
We've been there a couple of times, actually, on Christmas. That was our second Christmas there.
Brilliant. Sounds tremendous. Hey, well, thank you very much, Claire. Lovely to hear from you. Thank you for coming on. Take care.
All right, bye, Pet. Bye.
Bye-bye. How about that? Beat that if you can. Got an awful lot of ghosty habnabs tonight. Oh, hang on. We've got some ghost hunters who are actually in the middle of a ghost hunt. It's the Geordie Ghost Hunters. Hello, Ghost Hunters. Who's this?
Hello there. We are the Geordie Ghost Hunters. Hello there.
Hello, mate. So where are you at the minute?
We're currently we've been to Sunderland Royal Theatre tonight.
Right.
We've just finished up. We've been there for about 5 hours.
Right.
Doing various experiments and getting lots of evidence. And I tell you, that place is haunted.
Wow. So what was the most vivid thing that happened then?
Oh my God. Well, we haven't seen the edit yet, so there's no one in the background. But recently we've done a Ouija board, you see, and since we've done that Ouija board, everything seems different. Whenever we go to places, it seems very dark and gothic vibes. You know, it seems much more eerie. Right. Now, since we've done that Ouija board, things have moved quite a lot. Now, it's not things flying across the room, but it's on camera, and you can see it moving on its own. Several things have been knocked off shelves.
Right.
We've heard street noises. We'll have lots of activity.
Great. Hey, well, enjoy. So you're done now. You're finished for the night.
We've just done. We've just survived.
Champion. Hey, well, thanks for letting me know. Lovely stuff. Some ghost hunters there in Sunderland. Have you done one? Do you want to talk about that, or do you want to talk about something completely different? You absolutely can. Getting some more of those, if every movie ever made was made in the Northeast, what would your film be called? Raging Pit Bull? I love this. Instead of Frozen, they've got Frozen. Let one gan. And another Disney film. Instead of Moana, a Reet Mona. 0191 488 3188. So you got a few things that you can do, but let's get a star coming out at night. And our first star, and we'll have a few of them this evening, is Gabrielle, telling me about the best and the worst times in her life. What's been the highlight and the low light? Your best bit and your worst bit in the game?
Oh my God, just so many highlights. Just because being a singer meant I was able to meet Nelson Mandela in 2000 or 2001. I can never remember the exact year. Well, no, it's either one or the other.
Sure.
My first ever Brit, that was a highlight. Lows, I mean, you know what? Apart from just having your private life kind of there in the public, you know, not for your own kind of cause, from your own kind of doing, but you know, you take the rough with the smooth, and pretty much I get to live my life away from the spotlight. So I would more comment on the highs than lows. And the lows are just being there when, you know, you've got people who might want to sell stories. Thankfully, I've never really had that, but you know, that unwarranted interest in something that you feel that you weren't responsible for, but just by association, you get kind of dragged through the mud. But again, people have gone through far worse. So, you know, the fact that I get to kind of pick and choose my moments when I'm here now, and when I'm not here, I'm pretty much away permanently. So, you know, it works for me. So, you know, more highs than lows, I must say.
Well, I mean, if you really do need a filthy story at any time, I am here. I am available. But
well, you've got a lovely voice as well.
There you go. It's all working, sizzling on the back burner right now. No, but with respect to it, I always ask if my guests have ever seen a ghost. Have you ever had a spooky experience of any kind?
You know something, I'm one of these people that if there is any of those, you know, like them supernatural things, I'm like, no, you know. And even if I did see anything, I'm not telling anybody because they'd lock me up. And and I'll be too scared to tell anyone. But no, I think when I was younger, I always believe I saw something, but it was in the form of action men. Maybe, you know, I'm an old woman now, so when I was younger, maybe it was my brother's action men at the end of the bed. But I remember when I was younger thinking they were moving. No, they were moving. They were at the edge of the bed, like balanced with their little mini guns, and there were action figurines. And also maybe it's because my mum used to tell us the story of, is it Lucy who was in the cupboard? But I think she just said that to stop us coming out of our rooms. So I think that and the fear when you're really tiny, that kind of plays with you. So they probably didn't. They probably weren't movable action men. I probably just used to dream it because my mum was trying to keep us under the reins, keep the reins on us. So, but generally, no, those things are not for me. I don't want to know. I had to stop reading horror books a long time ago because they mess with my mind.
The shelter, and people had come running, hearing the air raid siren. There's an alarm going off somewhere, which could be the equivalent of the noise you would hear from a siren. And everybody came running here, and the police and Ellen Lee stopped some people getting in, inadvertently saving their lives. What the hell was that? Did you hear that?
I heard a scream. Greek
And it was from there, so in here. What was that?
That was a scream.
That was a scream.
That's before we go in.
That was amazing. So, more stories. It collapsed. Disaster. A policeman whose first name was Stuart, can't remember his surname. He was a special constable. His name was Stuart. And he wrote in his notebook that the place had completely collapsed. He wrote later on in his book that he spent the rest of the night trying to pull bodies from the rubble. A woman by the name of Evelyn Thomas, who lived nearby, just up that street there, she came out and she said, I spent the whole night helping the nurses that were here put the pieces of bodies into pink pails. So they were an arm and a leg and an eye and a head and a child's body. You can't imagine the horror. And talk about PTSD. What would you feel like after doing all of that? So there's very good reason as to why this particular place should be haunted. But the main reason, and I genuinely believe the main reason that this place will be haunted is because of propaganda reasons. They didn't go on the news that day and say Wilkinson's lemonade factory's been bombed, the shelter below, everybody's been wiped out. 107 human beings have lost their lives. Children as young as 2, 43 kiddies have lost their life there. Because everybody would be decimated and downhearted. Now, the people of Shields knew. They all knew. And they're all wondering, why has it never been mentioned on the news? Wilkinson, they're talking about a bomb hitting a church and killing 2 people in Coventry. Why didn't they mention 107 Northerners? And maybe it's this north-south divide thing. They claim it was all propaganda, and the story didn't come out till 2007. And the reason that there is not, or the ghosts or the spirits or whatever's left choose to remain here, I think because nobody cared about them. For over 40, 50 years, it's just plain wrong. Now, they were taken to Preston Cemetery, which some people call Tynemouth Crematorium now, but it's Preston Cemetery, sizable cemetery, and they just put them in a hole. I was going to say something's just touched me, and it was this. It was this. I was so glad to see it because I did feel something just kind of. I'm starting to get the.
Any names or nothing?
No, they're just these are the people. Boom. Do you know the name of any? We should know the names of every single person.
Yeah.
And they should have a headstone. They should have a place, but instead they've got a hole in a place miles away from here. And that blue plaque is very nice. But if that was my family, is that enough? No. I don't think it's enough. No. It's not the fault of the community centre, I hasten to add. No. But we should know the names of all of these people. What was the name of that baby that never had a chance? We should. It really rails me, this kind of stuff, because it's just not fair at any level. You could argue during the war, good people die. I absolutely understand. How many people have died in your family that haven't got a headstone? None. Some have had crematoriums. That's fine. They've got a little bowl or a little box somewhere. Fine. They're not in an anonymous hole in the ground. So we're going to go in. Let's check it out. We've been in with our trusty supporters, but everybody else can come in now too. Let's dive in. And I wonder if that thing will scream again, because that was something. Right, let's get in. It's warmer in than out.
Oh, it is.
I'm glad to say. I think what we should do first is let's load up as many traps as we can. Yeah. Get Gwen and Supernatural Ted out. I'll load up and the REM pod.
And Ted. I haven't seen you for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we've got our new gadget too.
Yeah, the night vision camera will go on Gwen and Ted. It's our first time out in 2022.
Yeah. Teresa on a chair. With a little ball. Right. Let's put this one in the kitchen somewhere.
The balls are on the table.
Fair enough. Right. Right. Put that there. We'll put the set up a couple of pendulums too. Right. Right.
That's been on all the time. Yeah, I put on before.
Oh. Let's put that over here.
The night vision camera I can put on.
This should never play as long as that.
Not normally. Where's the REM pod as well?
I'll put the REM pod over there. It's just there.
Cool.
Your work can feel much smoother with Monday.com WorkOS. This smooth. All you need to do to get started is choose one of our templates, add your teammates, and that's it. You can manage all your work in one place, even work from other platforms. Just start using it. It's super intuitive. Oh, and if you don't like something, just change it. And that, and what about that? Ooh. You can really work the way you want. Your team can even add powerful dashboards for high-level views and time-saving automations. Anyone can do it, and they can do it in minutes. No matter how complex your work, it stays easy with Monday.com.
Look at this, look at this. Pouch automatically tries all the codes it knows about from all over the web.
I'm going to set up a couple of tripods as well. A couple of
REM pod turned on. Yeah.
Double 8. This is real life conversation with the voice of the North.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Alan Robson with you. Now, we always have a competition for you. And over the last few weeks, we've been playing a competition called Who's Hits? Who's Greatest Hits? I give you 4 clues. Each clue gives you a song title. And then you've got to work out whose hits those 4 songs belong to. And I think you'll be able to do it tonight. If you have any problems, the last clue, total giveaway, in my opinion. However, the other three might just test you. Let's see how you fare. The first clue is this. If you rise in the morning, this is what you may do later, okay? If you rise in the morning, this is what you may do later on, okay? If you rise in the morning, this is what you may do later on. What song title does that make you think of? Write it down. 3 more to come, and then you can have a guess as whose hits they belong to, and you win our near legendary cup thingy. It is a cup thingy. I don't know whether we've got any that we can wave at you, but if we do, we'll sort that out later in the show. 0191 488 3188. More stars to come out at night too. But let us talk to Edwin, who is in Gateshead. Hello, Edwin.
Hello, Alan. You all right?
I'm good, mate. What can we do for you?
I've been gone with us last 26 years. I think she's been living like a double life, you know.
Why? What's up?
Well, she's been having an affair. I think I've got an old phone here from her dad where she's been texting somebody, and it's definitely not to me. It just would be, this is my dad's phone. I'll go a week in the garden if I have to. Then underneath it's got, in case I find out what you have been doing on your mum's phone, class. That's not to me, because I mean, I've got a garden. She's never said them words to me. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Have you confronted her? Have you mentioned it to her?
She's wanted to go now I knew and go and see her, but I didn't. I got scabies, mate, off her a couple of years ago. And she just says, oh, she must be been with somebody. I said, I haven't been, and after fact, I've never been with anybody.
No.
But she was gone with somebody called Paul Barber or something years ago.
That was years ago, though. Don't mention any names, though, because we don't know what the crack is now. That was then. So don't mention who you think it is now. The bottom line with stuff like this is it's all down to trust. You've been with this lass a long time.
26 years, but she was working in Docksford Park.
Right.
And I was looking on her phone. I wouldn't normally check her phone, but after I got scabies, I started getting worried and other things were going on. But she was saying to my mate, like, some lad that she knew, Whitley Beer, that worked on the race years ago, she had a crush on him. He worked at Docksford Park, where she worked at the just mention where it is.
No, you don't need to do that, because it doesn't matter who it is and where it is. First of all, we've all had crushes, and even people in relationships, you see somebody and think, oh, they're really nice. I mean, that's normal, but it doesn't necessarily mean you've stepped out the lane or done anything. I don't like the idea of an extra phone that you're not supposed to know about.
Her mum and dad obviously knew about it, because she's never texted me on her dad's phone. All her mothers, I never bother with her. I didn't even get news. Right. I mean, I drop her off in the car. Right. I come back when she phones, and she phones, and I go and pick her up.
Right.
And I never used to feel welcome with them when I used to go in. And even her cousin, I just seen her the other day, and I heard her saying to her, are you going up the caravan? Then her voice dropped, and I heard her mention somebody's name, but I didn't quite catch it. And then they were just talking. And then
okay, let's look at this in two ways. First of all, I know you can't go up at the moment because you've got scabies, and that's a thing.
No, I haven't got it now.
You haven't got it now.
This is 2014, mate. No, it's way back. But she explained the way, and stupid enough, I feel such a fool for like.
How sure are you though that she's seeing somebody in? There's not an innocent, because you haven't given her a chance to explain, have you?
Because his name's been mentioned in. She mentioned that name I mentioned before to her mate.
No, the problem with this is if you make a claim against anybody, it's not fair, because that other person doesn't have a right to reply. They do on EF when they come on. But the bottom line with this is you've got to sort it out with you. You've got to deal with this. You don't go spreading just patter and gossip, because that doesn't help. What you need to do is to sit in a room with this person and decide whether you want to stay together. Now, if you trust that person, you wouldn't even have rang me if you trusted them. And after that length of time, I thought you would have done. What I always say to everybody is, because I've had it done to me, and it's a nasty thing when anybody decides they're going to run off with somebody else. If they want to go, let them, but let them tell you first. Just to say, look, it's not working out. I want to see somebody else, so I'm going to... And then off you go. But 2 ways not to deal with it. One, ring up and just spout a whole batch of names that you've got no proof and no, it's just names. I heard that one day she had a crush on this one or that one. Fine, people do have crushes every day, but it doesn't mean they necessarily cross the line. They can have friendships with people. It doesn't mean they're going to cross the line. So, first of all, you don't spread the patter that you've heard, because patter tends to be patter. And you think she might have mentioned some other people since and what have you. You're never going to know unless you sit down and talk. And if she puts her hands up and says, look, it's all over, I want to see somebody else, you wish her the very best of luck and send her on away. And then that sets you free to go and find somebody else. But don't spread the gossip, because there's just a wheat field of gossip out there. And usually where gossip's concerned, very little of it has any kind of quantity to it. So, but you don't come on here and make things worse, is the point I'm trying to make. 0191 488 3188. David is with us. He is in Cullercoats. Let's go there. Hello, David.
Hello, Alan. Thanks for taking the call.
No problem. What can we do for you, Dave?
I'm a loyal supporter from the start to the end.
Thank you, man.
It was your programme during the week that affected us, because this story has been part of my life and keeps coming back to my life. When I saw you with Dot, my partner was a youth worker at the centre.
All right.
And he was a key holder, and he said you were never alone in that building.
Right.
There was presences always there.
That's kind of what we've heard. Dot shuts them out. And I can't blame her for doing that. But are you the general? Because we got sent a picture of a lady holding a book. Yeah. And somebody said that, you must talk to this woman because she was trapped under the rubble there.
What happened was my mum's family lived in Grey Street, which was 2 streets away.
Right.
From George Street and King Street.
Yes.
They had a little shelter under the stairs, and my granddad was actually blown through the glass door inside the front passage.
Wow.
And he decided to make a little shelter in the garden.
Right.
And the Wilkinsons, I mean, my mum is an amazing lady. She was only 5 at the time.
Right.
But there was 9 people in her family.
Lost in there.
And when the Wilkinsons disaster happened, my mum's nearly 86 now, but she knows the humanity of it. Men who'd came home for 48-hour leave and had been rushed into the shelter and lost their lives that way instead of fighting in the war.
Oh, amazing.
You know, and whole families lost, and neighbours and what have you. The 4 bombs that were dropped that night, their house in Grey Street was actually flattened in the October of the same year.
Right, right.
And all 9 members of the family were buried under the rubble.
Wow.
They all survived.
Right.
But they had nothing.
But can you imagine, though? Because, we talk about, was the house insured? Well, it didn't make any difference, because there's no way you were going to get an insurance company to say, tell you what, we'll rebuild this in the next 3 months. That was never going to happen. You were just stuck. And I don't even know what people did, because you go to your local church, maybe, or local family if you've got it.
They were given a chitty, and they had to stand in a queue. Actually, when they were dug out of the rubble, all 9 of them, they were taken to a local pub. I think it was called the Coburg.
Right. Uh-huh.
And they were all given lemonade, because they couldn't have a cup of tea because all the gas pipes had been turned off.
Right, so nothing hot. Right. Yeah.
They had to stand in a queue, because obviously they had no furniture, no clothes, no home.
Right.
And they were given £100, which was a lot in them days.
Yeah,
but when you've lost everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you, this is to compensate for the fact that you've lost something that's probably even back then worth 5, 6, 7, 10 grand.
Yeah.
Here's £100. And you're starting from scratch with your whole life again.
Yeah, but I know people have been talking about this. The book, I know Emily, your first caller, was talking about it. Peter Bolger is a great guy. He came round to my house and he signed copies for me and Mum of his book.
Lovely.
He put all this information together. Mum's story's actually been published on the BBC website.
Lovely.
About the bombing of North Shields, but we attended the memorial service on the 75th anniversary.
Yes.
Of the bombing, and what I think it's different reading people's words, but what they did was they recorded the voices of the survivors.
Great.
And
Good.
if you shut your eyes and you listen to it, it's like
amazing.
You can hear what it was like when you were sitting in the cinema, and like the siren goes off and you don't know where to go, and like people running out of the pubs to go to the shelter, which was just flattened completely.
Yeah, but isn't it weird? Because the people, from what I understand, the police and this Emily Lee who ran the shelter were turning people away. And first of all, and those people that they were turning away, I would imagine, panicking, thinking, well, what do I do now? Can't get into a shelter. Hell's bells, we're going to have to go and run and hide somewhere and hope for the best that you don't get it.
Mum said they were actually lying still in the street.
Oh, what?
So that the bombs, like the pilots couldn't see them. This is the humanity of it. Alan, I wish you could speak to her. She's an absolute angel. It's important that people listen to the voices of people
I agree.
Were around at the time.
I mean, what I said, because I saw the post and I instantly mentioned to the guys, look, although we're not in the same neck of the woods this particular week, but we will be again. First chance we get, we'll give you guys a call and see if we can organise it, and we'll come and see our early doors, about 6:30,
like
7
Mum's
o'clock.
live now,
Right.
but both of her parents, my grandparents, whose house it was, both died in their 50s. They would never speak about it. They saw her married in St. Augustine's Church, which was just next to Grey Street, which was where the memorial service was.
Right.
They both died so early, and the only survivors now are like Mum and her baby brother at the time.
And she was just a kid at the time.
Just five, but she lost everything. Like they didn't have little dollies or anything, or a roof above their heads, and Auntie took them in.
And they'd have the same clothes because they didn't have clothes even.
Yeah,
everything
that was it. If you go to the Oddfellows Arms in North Shields, apparently there's a map of where the bombs hit.
Right. The Oddfellows, right.
Yeah,
that's
but
brilliant.
the death toll that you read out, like the 107 killed, it didn't include the people that died of their injuries later.
Right. Right. Interesting.
All the injuries were taken to Preston Hospital.
Yes.
And people who died like within 3 days or 5 days or 7, they weren't included in the actual toll.
Amazing.
So the owners of Wilkinson's factory, I think, paid for the funerals and the mass burial.
Yeah.
And I know, I'm not sure that there's many people left from the Wilkinson family now. I'm not sure whether Terry Wilkinson is still here or what have you. But from what I hear, even the shelter, like there was makeshift bunk beds in there, and the kids' noses were like inches from the floor above.
Right.
Which was full of the machinery and like the bottles and stuff like that. And you just can't imagine, can you?
It's otherworldly because it's not anything that we've experienced. To me, it's almost like you're trying to imagine some film you saw once. It's not like it was very much real life for them, but it is hard for us to actually do.
I can't imagine it now. And then like this past 2 years, because like obviously I've been shielding with my disabilities, and Mum's been shielding and whatnot. And then like when I speak to her, and she's saying, I'm finding this so hard, I can't see my own children. And I'm saying, Mum, but you survived a war.
Yeah.
You survived a bomb dropping on you. If we can do this, we can do anything.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
It's just so precious. I really hope you can meet her.
I hope so too.
Lady.
That's my plan too, David. We'll do our darndest. Thank you very much for calling. No, great talking to you, man.
Oh, you're welcome. Can I just say one thing about Boris?
Yes.
I just want to say 4 words for the people who voted Tory in the last election. What did you expect?
Oh, boom. Take that. Thank you very much. 0191 488 3188. And we're going to take a quick break. Just before that, though, let's talk to some more stars, because the stars come out at night. It's the night house, for heaven's sake. So we're going to talk to Foreigner. And this time, we're going to talk to them about how your life changes when you become international superstar Habnabs.
You know, it's funny. The guys came to LA to do some rehearsals, and I came to sit in to sing with them to see if I was a good fit and everything was cool. And I went home, and they called me up an hour later. And I found out that they had been having a big huddle after I left, and like, what's this guy like, and what's he about, and is he going to be good live, and is he a complete idiot? And they got the answer on that one soon after. But
nevertheless, we carried on.
Yeah, but they called me and said, "Can you start rehearsing tomorrow?" And I hung up the phone, and I knew that a lot of things were going to change, because I was working in LA, and I wasn't traveling, and I wasn't doing things, and I had some success with my group Hurricane, but I knew this was going to be at a different level. And it's funny when you have that realization, you go, okay, everything is going to change now. And luckily I had the experience of being on the road and had been in the studio a lot, and I felt I had the tools to be able to do it. And I think it's very difficult for someone to just come in off the street or off of YouTube and do the kind of work and the kind of schedule that we do and the kind of quality that we do. And luckily that was all serendipitous, and it came together at the right time.
Traps and places. Is that you, Kenny?
That's me.
Right. This is going to be quite bright in here because the exit signs are huge.
That's fine.
So let's put a few of these out wherever we can. Right, the REM pod. We haven't got a large area in here.
No.
So we're just going to have to plan.
Yeah, maybe we should set the REM pod up in a different room.
Well, I've put the echo, the boxes there. So
it's a big hole.
right. Find some more places for traps. That's not going to go there. Trying to find anything I can hang. Oh, hang on, put that one. That do it. Yep. Okay. There's a trap on that door there, Ken. On the handle, on the just where your torch is, there's a.
Yes. Natural test. Ready? Well. Ready? See.
Right, we're looking positive. Oh, that's what I'm looking at. That's not going to do it.
Do you want to go around with the new
gadget?
SLS
Absolutely.
camera?
Let's do a walk around. Have you got the gadget, Tony, ready?
Yeah. This is our new
There you go.
SLS screen with a LiDAR camera on. So it's basically got a sensor on it. So it'll detect. So if you put it on your hand, so you don't drop it, and then I'll follow you around.
Okay.
We tried it earlier and we got something on the screen, didn't we?
We got a sweep before. Oh, see this? There's figures. This is weird but different. I'm not sure you need as much light, Tony. Are you seeing it clearly?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We got a figure just on the left-hand side there. That's weird. They shouldn't be red, should they?
Yeah, it's like a heat. Kind of a heat sensor.
Okay.
You probably need to put your hand in it because if you drop it, it's going to smash. It costs a lot of money. That's why I got the head case, the heavy case.
But I saw some figures in the corner at the very beginning. Let's do the biggest room. Into the darkness. Oh. Not seeing much. I try different. What was that?
I heard a wish. I'll go this side of you so I can see it properly.
You're supposed to be able to.
No, you just.
Oh, it's the. Oh,
just in the middle.
Right, let's try it in blue. What the hell's that? Just dark over there.
We can try where we've got a figure before.
Yeah, we will. Is that you, Kelly? I will not drop it, but it's not comfortable. I have to say. There's a noise over there.
There's a knock over there.
Did you hear that?
That's where you saw the stick figure before.
Yeah, it was.
Watch the chair.
Over that side.
Gwendoline.
The stick figure was over
Oh, there was a stick figure in the top right-hand corner just a second ago. Oh, did you see that?
I heard it made a noise, so that.
It was in the bottom corner.
Yeah.
It was back kind of there.
Oh, there.
There.
It's just picked one up.
There.
There.
Night Owls with Alan Robson.
What are we talking about next? You make the call. 0191 488 3188.
Greatest hits radio.
Now, I do seem to remember Ian Dury and the Blockheads on one of his tunes singing about Clever Trevor. Well, he's on the line and he's from Gateshead. Hiya, Trevor.
Hi, Hello, mate. Happy New Year, mate.
All the best to you too. What you
I've
got?
never been on for a couple of weeks because I've had a bit of a crappy start the New Year, but I hope you've had an hardy one.
It's been sound. Thanks a lot. Hey, what's been going wrong, mate?
Oh, well, yes, I didn't even want to say it. Didn't want to say it.
All right. I hope things get better for you, man. Whatever you're going through.
Well, it's not me, it's somebody else, but it has got better. So.
Right, good.
But anyway, right. You want to before I get on about Newcastle and that. You want about people when you've seen like having mental fights and that. I can remember you saying something about that.
Yeah, that's right. Where's the worst fight you've ever seen?
Right. It's not the worst, like, but I was only about 10 or 11 and my mother had took us doing South Shields. You know, the Pleasure Beach.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Used to go and do in there because it was used to get like so many rides or something on a Friday night because it was cheap night or something.
Right.
And we were leaving, it was about 9 o'clock at night, and we were like, you know, the little pedestrian crossing before you like the caravan park.
Yeah.
Where you come right. We were coming over there to like walk along and gone towards a metro station, and all of a sudden I was with you like raw mate. And my mother's gone, how I get away, and I'm like, I want to have a look and all that. You know, there was these two lads in the middle of the road, mate. They were of a lie with like lads and lasses behind them, but these two lads they both had it like a white vest on each of the baseball bat in each hand. And I was like, what's going on, darling?
I'm sure that's not why they call it the Pleasure Beach. Blimey, knocking 7 bells out of somebody.
Honestly, I've never seen no like it. I mean, I've seen some carry on at the Moor and that, but I thought, these lads are game, you know what I mean? But I was only a bairn.
Yeah.
But my mother rushed us away, and I'll never ever forget that. It was just when you mentioned it before, I'll never forget that. It was mad, but honestly, mate, it was crazy.
Yeah, but
so I don't know where that come from or what, but the two of them white vest and baseball bats, it was mental.
Just an odd thing to tell you what. Let's have a fight with baseball bats in the middle of the road. I mean,
honestly, it was right in the middle of the road where the Pelican Crossing was.
Crazy. Hey, what about Newcastle then? Because they just played Watford. It was a 6-pointer, and blame me.
I'll tell you what, the players that are there, right? They just we've had them for 4 years now, and I think they've just give up. To be honest with you, like, I mean, like Lascelles, he's meant to be our captain. I don't know how he's still got the armband because he's the majority of our mistakes, in my opinion. Like, Shelby and all, like within the first 5 minutes, just nearly give a penalty away straight away. You know what I mean? It's just how man, you're at the bottom of the league. Use your loaf, man.
I felt a bit sorry for Chris Wood, and I know people have slagged him off for not having any. He got no service at all for the whole game. For the whole game, and he's probably not the fittest and the most mobile because he was thrown into a team, and presumably you'd have been told where to go, but you've got to practice and rehearse and get on the training field and understand where to run and where not to run, and he was thrust straight in. So I did feel a bit sorry for him. Everybody said, "Oh, he's rubbish. We're not gonna get anywhere with him." I think you just might. I don't think we've seen the best of him by any stretch.
See, on levels, it's like 25 million for him, Alan. It's a lot of money, you know.
Absolutely.
And new you're looking at like Origi from Liverpool. I think we should have went for him.
Yeah, he's.
You know what I mean? Because imagine
player.
if they buy him, you know, even Andy Carroll on about getting Andy Carroll. I'd have rather had Andy Carroll than Chris Wood, in my opinion, for 25 quid. I would have rather kept Andy Carroll.
For 25 quid, we'll take him on. I don't think that.
25 million.
Gosh, how many players could we buy for only 25 quid?
Well, I'm on a good Norwich here, aren't I?
Yeah. No, Burnley's probably going to end up with Andy Carroll. I think that's where that one will go. But do you think that they're getting ready for the Championship rather than for the Premiership?
That's what I said to me, mate. The other day, mate. It seems that way, doesn't it? I mean, you're putting Alison Maxim on the wing, and he's not going to put any crosses in for anybody. He wants to do that for himself. Didn't get his rank. I love him to bits. Me, he's a mint player, but if you put it on the wing and you've just bought somebody for 25 million quid and you're not scoring goals, you've got to put the ball into the box for him, haven't you? You know what I mean?
Absolutely. He scored a cracking goal, but that apart, he lost the ball a couple of times in midfield because he doesn't have the confidence to pass it to anybody because he doesn't think they'll be capable of doing anything with it. Well, that's shocking.
I mean, I was listening to John Anderson on BBC Newcastle after the game, man, and he was ripping him to bits. He's going, why can't he just pass the ball? You know what I mean? But you keep that for yourself. I mean,
well, Newcastle United over the years, mind, have tended to have players that are rebels, not the right word, but I remember when I was just a bairn, there was a player called Jimmy Smith played for Newcastle. And he was amazing, could dribble the ball, all afternoon if you wanted. But it's just, he didn't pass when the obvious passes were there because he was doing it himself. And I think that'll only get you so far. If he added that to his game, but what he says himself is they need better players to come in, and maybe this result with Watford will push them to make sure they get a couple more. Because the back line's just weak as water, isn't it? You know that yourself.
It's shocking me. It is. I mean, what must Eddie Howe be thinking, no, man? You know what I mean? He's only won one game after you're sorry for him. You know what I mean? They're like,
yeah, and he's just heard that
we've got all the money in the world, and it's like no change, has it?
No, and he's just heard that Rafa Benitez, of course, has lost his job because he didn't get 1 out of 18. How many is it since Newcastle? We won one in about 19, 20 games.
And Everton never won then since September. Won one since September, haven't they?
And look at the players they've got. I mean, I think hand on heart, there's probably about 6 players in their team that would certainly be better in Newcastle's team than what Newcastle's got. And they're suffering and sacking their manager for it. I think Eddie Howe's always had an uphill task, in fairness to him. And I just hope that he manages to get the players that he wants so that the team can be his, because the team he inherited were really poor, weren't they, really?
Well, definitely, mate. I just hope we can try and get these 2 centre defenders, because that's our main problem, like.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, and I've been on a bit Shelby and that. I mean, Almiron, when he come on yesterday, he was just crap and all, really. I don't know, mate.
I don't see, but I don't.
I'm glad I'm not a manager. I'm glad I'm not a manager.
No, but if you look at it, the players in the first team haven't got what it takes, and so the thought of, they'll bring on somebody. If the first team's poor, what's the second team? How good's the second team? That's that's
just they haven't got the fight. They haven't got the fight there, mate.
I saw that.
It was there for the taking yesterday, and I think I've said to myself, and I say this to my pal, you know what it is. If we didn't win the day, if we lose or draw, I think that's the nail in the coffin, like.
Yeah.
Unless something miraculously gets pulled off, you know what I mean?
Well, the bottom line is there's 50-odd points left, apparently, but Newcastle's already played a lot of the lower teams at home already. So the only way they can survive is, they've got to beat some of the big teams away. That's the reality of it.
And look at Leeds, mate. They've just beat West Ham today.
Yeah.
And they've got about 8 teenagers in that team that haven't even got a proper team.
Yeah, but they sweat blood for each other.
Exactly.
That's the difference.
Exactly. We put the shirt on and the fight for the club. That's another point, mate. That's what I'm on about Shelby and all that. It's just to give up and I want to be away now. That's what they're thinking, like.
Yeah.
That's what I think they're thinking, because of the new one that's coming in now, that we are going to get pushed to. Why should we why should we go for the battle and try and stay up? You know what I mean? I think we've already realised that the noses are getting pushed out. And that's the wrong way to look of it. And they out their eyes, like.
Well, hang on. Tony's just made a good point here. Tony's just sent me an email saying everybody's feeling sorry for Eddie Howe, but never felt sorry for Steve Bruce, who had slightly better results. It's the same team, no matter how much money is available.
No, he's right. definitely, he's rich.
Yeah.
He's rich, definitely, mate.
So you wish Steve Bruce was still there?
No.
That's what I thought.
Not at all, mate. But
Right.
the lad who sent the email in, rich.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
Right. Steve Bruce was never ever going to sit in at Newcastle because of his Sunderland connections and things like that. And,
right.
You know what I mean? Well, that's my opinion. And then,
hey, no worries. Good catching up, Trevor. Good luck to you, man.
I need one anyways, mate. I was kind of talking about Crew, but I let somebody else.
All right, hey, no worries. But good of you to call. Thanks for ringing in. Trevor there. Worried about Newcastle United. Got a lot of this stuff coming in, and some more of those titles, the song titles, if every movie ever made was in the Northeast, not song titles, movie titles. Amble Harbour was suggested. Chris sent in the Durham Busters. And to be honest, I think this is one of the great Northeastern movies ever made, and it's Chris Felton's actually come up with this one. He's called it I'm Legend. That is just the most Geordie thing I've ever heard. I'm Legend. But you got to say it with that kind of accent, otherwise it doesn't really work. And this is coming as well. Bruce Lee, Morpeth of the Dragon, Amble Harbour instead of Pearl Harbour, Big Trouble in Little China, Bridge Over the River Tyne, very good. Dirty Dancing. That's Leanne from Amble's selection as well. Well done, Leanne. Very good. And Anne says, hi, Alan. If they gave you an extra few nights, you'd save the NHS a fortune in the counselling department, which has a waiting list miles long, some of whom on the list will never get an appointment. You've given me and hundreds of others great advice and have saved lives. That's more important than music all night. On a lighter note, thanks for my drinks prize. You know, I always call it a drinks thingy, because it's kind of a drinks thingy. Anne has nailed what it is. It's a deep thermos cup with a lid and handle. My son's nicked it. He'll use it to keep his coffee hot when he's working outside. Well, as long as it's coming in canny, that's good. 0191 488 3188. Off to Shotton now, in fact. Darren is waiting there. Hi, Darren.
Hello, Alan. Yeah, right, Mike.
Yes, good, mate. What can we do for you?
I just want to talk about indie artists in the Northeast.
Okay.
And the quality of that, like, you know.
Right.
I'm an indie artist myself, so that's where that's come from.
Are you solo or are you in a band?
Well, I'm in a band, but I also do my own stuff.
Tell us your name then, and tell us the name of the band.
Well, my covers band is called 8 T's. And
right.
I've been with 8 T's for like a number of years now, and
right.
I do like all 80s music and that, like, you know.
Great.
And then about 3 years ago, I decided that I have a go at my own music and that, like.
Good.
I'd been sitting on a song for many, many years and never did anything with it.
Right.
So I had a word with one of my friends who's a good producer, Alan Binridge from Hartlepool STEM Studio.
Right.
And we put my first song together, and it's called September Sun. About 3 years down the line now, and I've got like about 1 or 2 songs to finish, like my first album, that, like, you know.
Oh, that's exciting.
But yeah, it's all good stuff. Not like, and I love doing it. You know what I mean? It gives us such satisfaction.
Yeah,
you know?
I
But the problem we used to have was like, you know, like when like lockdown first started.
Oh, absolutely.
And you had lots of artists out there, all like complaining, like, you know, what were they going to do?
Sitting on your hands because there was no way you could play.
Yeah. So, but what I decided to do was I decided to put some like mutual playlists together.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, like it started on Spotify, and I got in touch with a few artists in the Northeast and advertised on a few different like platforms on like Facebook, that sort of thing.
Right.
And there's a few people came to that, like, you know, wanted to join, and we ended up like putting good playlists together, and everybody that was on the playlist could like play the playlist. And because that was going so well, I decided to create like a Facebook page,
right?
And it's called the Artist Support Network. And we have I have basically people from all over the world on that now, you know.
That's great.
But what I tend to find is like the quality in the Northeast is fantastic, you know, of like indie artists out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I've even got like specific playlists just for artists in the Northeast, you know. And they cover like a good different range from jazz and pop and like I say, indie, bit of rock stuff, that, you know. And it's all been going really well. I mean, it's slackened off a little bit now because people have started getting back into doing like gigs and that sort of thing.
Sure.
But I mean, I've been quite fortunate. I mean, over the past like couple of years since I started doing this sort of thing, I've gotten over 600,000 streams on like Spotify. You know.
Wow, that's amazing.
And that's and that's just like I say, with getting the support and with other people and that, like, you know.
That's
on
amazing.
The Facebook page
That's an amazing number, you know. That's tremendous. Well done.
It is, I know, yeah. Thanks for that.
That's tremendous.
But I tell you what, it's amazing the amount of people I found in the Northeast, you know, like I say, the quality that's out there is unreal. I mean, I was talking to one lad and just popped up on Facebook one day and he wanted to join one of my teams, what have you. And he's called Peter Connolly.
Right.
And I said to Peter, what sort of stuff do you do? He says, do you know, like Tomb Raider, Lara Croft, and that, like, you know. He's like, oh yeah. I'm saying that, yeah. He says, well, I did all the music for Tomb Raider. I was like, well, never in the world. I said, that's fantastic, that, you know.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, he's got like shed loads of music and that, like, you know. And he even did like a whole album down at Abbey Road with a full orchestra, you know. And that was what I do like for Tomb Raider, not like.
The problem, I think, that, you know, and I'm like a broken record about this. At one time, local radio in general one of the purposes, in my opinion, of local radio was to give a chance for everybody to hear how good music was in the North. And that wasn't just the ones that have been on the X Factor. It's all of the bands that work and carve a groove through the Northeast. And there's been thousands of amazing bands, some of them that have had a degree of success, some of them that haven't got there, some of them that should have been right to the top and didn't quite make it. I used to play about 5 or 6 a week when I had shows across the week from about, about 1980 up to about 2012. And then we were asked to peel back and just do the odd 1 or 2 a week. And it was, at least we were still able to do it. And obviously, the more networking that comes in, you know, where most of the shows come from somewhere all points south, usually, they're not interested in anything that's local because the sound that's going out's going everywhere, so they don't want to be particularly cast in one area or another. And that's a shame because my view is that's a good 15 to 20% of what radio is actually for. Breaking new acts, getting new stuff in, and not just new stuff from the superstar. But, you know, Ed Sheeran's going to get a crack, isn't it? He's going to get played. You don't have to have a listen to it and say, was it good enough to make the playlist? Because of the power that he has in the networks now, he's going to walk in and everything he gets played. But there may well be something done by, you know, 8Ts or you solo that's amazing. That's not going to get the chance because of the whole networking thing. And personally, I disagree with it vehemently, but there's not really too much we can do about it.
This is true. Like, you know, it's like I said, it's a shame because you get so many like big artists who become so big because like they're on every single network, you know, and all the networks want to be part of that. And, like, you know, and like I say, even if like smaller radio stations play like a lot more indie artists, they made the artists could gain by getting like money from that as well, you know.
Yeah, it's 100. I agree with you, but the problem that you have is that a lot of the small stations get bought by the big stations who put the same thing out on the small stations. So
it's true,
because there's only about 3 or 4 huge radio players that own all the radio stations. So it's a strange time, and in recent years, local radio, they've been trying very hard to kind of close it down, really, and just have a breakfast show from there, and then that's the rest of it. I mean, I've always been totally honest about the way that radio is going. Now, if this is what everybody wants, that's great. And I'm, you know, hey, I'm wrong. Take a side back. They'll get me out the door at some point anyway. So I understand if that's what people want. Hand on heart, I think local people want local stuff, and I always have. Always have.
Yeah, totally.
That's where we agree, but they disagree. So that's how it is.
I mean, I've had quite a bit of radio play on like different parts of the world, especially like even Australia. You know, I mean, there's myself and a couple of other people from the Northeast. we've had a couple of number ones in Australia, you know. But just on like indie charts over there, you know what I mean?
But how weird that that's what you have to do to get airplay, you know? It's
crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
So I tell you what, if you fancy, if you think of one of your songs, best song you can do 1 week,
right?
Get a guitar.
Okay.
Stick your telephone as your mic stand. Let's have a listen.
Right.
All right?
No problem. I'll do that for you. I don't know whether at all.
Good, man. I'd love to hear you.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, no
Thanks very much for calling anyway, Darren. All the best, mate. Bye-bye. Let's give him a crack. 0191 488 3188. It just sounds like a plan, doesn't it? 0191 488 3188. Greatest Hits Radio Northeast doing stuff. And I think we've got David next, who's in Kings Lynn. Hello, David.
Hello, Alan. How are you?
I'm very well. What can we do for you, David?
I'd just like to speak to you about, you know, when you do your ghost hunts, if you would come down to Kings Lynn.
I don't see any reason why not. What's there for us to see?
Well, there's loads, really. You've got Houghton Hall, Blickling Hall.
Right.
There's like a pub called the Lattice House. It's like a really old pub.
Right.
And that has a few spirits, ghosts in.
Right, okay. So it's worth a visit, you're thinking?
It is, yes.
Right. I've written it down. I'll have a look, see what the crack is. So, hey, good stuff. Thank you very much for your suggestion, David. Anything else?
No, that's all. Thank you.
That's very good. Thank you. Hey, we ask you to suggest stuff. There is a suggestion. Now we're heading off to Eyemouth, and just over the border, but bonny as hell. And David's there. Hi, David. Hello, David.
Hi, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Welcome to you. Thanks for coming on. What are you talking about?
First time caller.
Thank you.
It was basically just to say, love your shows on the ghost hunting.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing.
Great.
And it was just to talk a little bit about Eyemouth, and as it's just across the border, because we listen to you quite a lot.
Yeah, love Eyemouth.
Do you know much about the fishing disaster that happened here?
No, I don't. Tell me more.
Right. In 1881,
right.
October the 14th, there was 190 people killed on the coast here.
What happened?
It was called the Black Friday.
Right.
And it was like the storm that we had just a few weeks ago.
Right.
And there was all the boats went out because there was quite a poor area at that time.
Right.
And people were starving. And basically they had to feed their families.
So they had to go out in a storm like that because that was...
No, they went out as it was like clear in the morning.
Right.
And it got to lunchtime and the storm hit with all the boats out.
And they were stuck out there?
Yeah, they were stuck out there.
Right. Whoa, that's terrifying.
So basically all the people could stand on the shoreline, could see their families getting killed, getting drowned on the rocks.
That's horrific. And 190 people, because I mean, on boats, there's usually like 3 or 4 on a boat. So that's the entire fleet, isn't it? 190 people?
Yeah, there was 129 people from Eyemouth drowned, men.
Right. But there'll be other seamen or other sailors from other ports, though, because all the boats will go out. They don't all necessarily live there, is the thing.
No, there was 50 from other places up and down, like Bournemouth, Berwick.
Right.
Like that.
Wow.
One boat made it down the coast. I don't know how far it got down. Anyway, they were holding a service for it in Eyemouth because they thought they were died in the storm. And they got the train back that next day, and they basically walked in under service for them.
Oh, so everybody thought they were dead, but the boat had been blown so far south, they get a train back and they walk into their own funeral, really, I suppose.
Yes, basically.
Could you imagine that? What that must have felt like for the families?
Yeah, like you probably heard the Piper Alpha disaster.
Of course.
I think there's about 160 people died there, and everybody thought that was probably the biggest disaster.
And then here it is, 190 in Eyemouth.
Yeah.
Amazing, hey? It's a tremendous story. We've got to do Eyemouth. Eyemouth is just the right size for us to be able to tell 1,000 stories about Eyemouth. Because of where you are on the borders, there'll be a hell of a history attached to it, I'm sure.
Well, they reckon there's just as much underground in Eyemouth as above, because of all the smuggling and that way on.
Yeah, I bet. Brilliant.
So, one day I hope you come up and maybe do a little tour, and I'll take you around.
I would love to. And if we do, and you spot us, pop out and say hello. All right, David?
Yeah, I'd love to do that, Alan.
Well, I'm going to have a chat with Tony about us doing Eyemouth sometime soon. I think it's one of those places that's so near. It's just, we could strike at any time. So watch this space. It's a good idea. Thank you very much for coming on and telling us, though, David. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Alan.
Thanks, man. Bye-bye. No, Eyemouth is just lovely, and it's much bigger now. Much bigger now than it used to be. It used to be just this little bit on the coast. Now you've got a bit of countryside up where the car park is, and then on the other side of where the river bit is, you've got just... I can't remember the name of the house. There's a big something house, it's called, a maritime building that has got a number of stories attached to it as well. So I think Eyemouth's definitely a place to look into. 0191 488 3188. Piece of music. Let's talk to another star. This one, Gilbert O'Sullivan. My goodness, do you remember Gilbert? At the time he first came out, I wasn't the one that chewed. Subsequently, what a wordsmith this man is. Tremendous. So let's have a chat with Gilbert, well, frankly, about where he's from.
I was born in Ireland, in Waterford area, which is where the Waterford Crystal comes from.
Right.
Left there when I was 7, moved to Swindon, Wiltshire, which is still our family home. And, raised there, went to school there, college there.
What was your childhood like? Were you a good kid, bad kid?
Normal, pretty normal. One of 6, second oldest. My father died when I was around 11 years of age. Mother, she's the matriarch of our family and still alive, thank goodness.
Right.
And a very young 80. And, our family home is Swindon. My sisters still live there. And that's where we still go when we come back from Jersey, each time we come over.
Right.
So, my roots are pretty...
solidly planted in Britain, obviously. When you got to teenage years, I'm presuming with a family that size, your mum desperate for you to go and do something proper, not necessarily
get a proper job,
singing job.
Yeah, absolutely. And if there's a piano in the house, it's only because she figures that if one of her children could play, they could earn a few bob in the pub when they grow up. So yes, a proper job. I was 4 years at art school. She was kind of disappointed when I gave that up to have a go at the music business. But on the other hand, I was getting better, and while she wasn't involved in the writing of my songs or my attempts to become a singer, she did give me all the encouragement that I needed. So that was good.
I think we better hear a tune from the man. It's the chair behind the table, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it's where the bag is. You sure Knackers isn't in the bag? Maybe Knackers
Don't
in the
say
bag.
that could be quite scary.
That's just Kenny. No, she's more active on the screen than he ever is in real life.
Is this a different one? Oh, there was 2 people there on the screen. Look, there's 2. There's 2 people on the screen.
There's something right behind you, Kenny.
Seriously? There's something right next to you.
Right
Look
next
at
to
the
you.
energy between them.
It's copying you almost. That's ridiculous. It's behind. It's just gone behind you. There's 3.
3.
Oh man!
What is that?
There's some
actually freezing here. Honestly and truly.
Oh, there's 3 people there. There's 2 people next to you.
They're
smaller as well. They look like children.
They're kids.
You said it's warm when you come in here. It's freezing.
There's 2 children playing with you, Kenny.
Goosebumps.
They're children, those.
Yeah, they're not the same size as you. Do you know even Kenny's figure on the screen looks gormless? Is it? But there's things around you. I wish you could come and see.
It's freezing.
Come and see. They might leave you behind.
Oh.
I don't. You come out. It's gone. They've gone.
Maybe they're following Kenny. If they're attaching themselves to somebody.
Because honestly, it's absolutely freezing in that corner. It's warm
Yes,
here.
yes, they're in front of you, Kenny.
There.
Right in front of you.
It's here.
The
You
kids.
can feel the cold here. You can actually feel how cold it is here.
I think you're taking one home tonight, Ken.
Don't. What was that in the bag, Tony? It just lit up there.
It's probably just one of the balls that forget Gwen and Ted.
Is this a different one?
Yeah, they're just spares.
Well, that's wild. Look at that.
If I turn the torch off.
Try it.
Anything?
You're still there.
It's
Oh,
honestly,
they're still there.
You need to come in this corner and feel how cold it is.
There's 3 figures there. There's a
Wow.
taller one and a small one.
So just record the screen there.
What happens if I walk this way?
It's
still there.
Still in that corner.
It was still there. There's you.
Did you hear that?
Yes. What was it? Like a whimper?
That's the camera making a noise. It's an alert.
Right.
Yeah, there's stuff there.
And then chairs.
There's at least 2.
2 figures.
Two
One's
figures.
larger, one's smaller.
Okay.
I'm not pointing at you now, but there's figures there, Kenny.
You need to come here and feel how cold it is here.
Well, let's go then.
Just actually come here. It's freezing in that corner,
Yeah, it is cool.
isn't it?
It's, yeah.
And there's nothing there to make
I
it
was
cold.
thinking air conditioning, but there's nothing.
Nah, it's freezing there.
See if Tony's picked up. Tony, this small child figure here.
Just there.
Let's record on the screen so I'll be able to show that.
Yeah. But mind you, it might be the same figure that we get here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Is it here?
Yeah.
It's kind of.
It's there. Yeah. Do you see that?
Do you think we'll get it if we go around the other side of that wall?
It's where Kenny's not.
Oh God.
It's degrees colder here.
That's nowhere near. What's no? Kenny's not there.
Still around that area.
This is
the child.
I was questionable about this gadget, but that's actually quite cool. Let's see if there's anything in here.
It's got a sensor on the camera. Just come this side of you so I can pick it up properly.
Needs to polish this screen. It's got a lot of fingerprints and stuff on it as well. Just seems to be more active around Kenny. There's Ken, right? And we got nothing in the main room, did we? The big room.
Yeah, but I wasn't in there, was I, at the time?
No, it seems to have cleared up in here. Oh no, there they are.
No, they're the back.
No, they're there.
There's three of them.
Three, definitely three.
The kids, definitely.
3 children, they're small. They're mucking about.
There's a noise there.
Did you
hear that noise there?
Absolutely.
See, I knew there was a noise there before. That was a knock. And a groan. What is that?
Are you hearing that?
Heard something.
It's like they're playing and making noise.
Maybe the necromancer people are saying.
Yeah.
Just turn that off. The screen recording.
Okay. That's wild.
They want to play. Maybe they want to play with Gwen and Ted as well.
I just
hope so.
Bringing Gwen and Ted, yeah.
Yeah, sit them on the counter.
Do it. Just do it, Ken.
Alan Robson's Night Owls.
The phone-in that gets you talking.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Now, we've given you a first clue to win one of our thermos vacuum hot and cold drinky things. So, clue number 1. Each clue is a separate song. You'll end up with 4 songs, and at the end, you tell me whose greatest hits they happen to be. The first clue: if you rise in the morning, this is what you may do later. Second clue: what you may say to a boy or girlfriend if you'd like them to stay the night. Okay? What you may say to a boy or girlfriend if you'd like them to stay the night. 2 clues down, 2 more clues to come. Okay? 2 more to come. And let's see how well you manage it. We got a lot of film titles. If every movie in the world happened to be made in the Northeast, what would they be called? Julie from Jarrah has come up with just an amazing selection. 50 Shades of Grey Street. Instead of the Goonies, the Toonies. That's genius. Toon Raider. Tremendous. Nightmare on Frederick Street. There you go. And also Enemy at the Gateshead. Who's this from? Oh, this is from Chris. The Ham Shank Redemption. The Hippie Green Mail. Golden Way, For Your Thighs Only. Darkest Hour. And Enemy at the Gateshead. Suzanne, say hello to David in Kings Lynn. I was Castleton before marriage. David might know some of my castles. They're from Kings Lynn. And she's got the book about the Kings Lynn ghosts. You just put the picture up, thank you. And also, a few more have come in. Cloud Fat Lass, that's just not nice. Battle of the Bulge. There's one here about the jazz singer, and they've called it the Something Flinger, and it's not jazz, and it's very nasty indeed. And I would certainly duck. 0191 488 3188. Ricky's up next. He's in Cornwall. Hello, Ricky.
Hi, Alan. You all right?
I'm good, mate. What can we do for you?
Well, not a lot, you know. I was just, I'm down here, right? Do you know Cornwall at all?
Not amazingly well. Been there twice, but just like a holiday a week here and there.
Well, I'm down here right next to the Lizard Peninsula, like right down the bottom.
Right.
You just popped up on my live feed from nowhere and brought loads of memories back, because even though I've got a horrible southern accent, I lived in South Shields for years in the early 90s.
Fabulous.
And me and my friends used to listen to you on a night time, and I remember the Metro Radio Road Show. Do you remember that? You used to come down Shields Fair and stuff.
Yes, we did. Absolutely.
It just brought loads of memories flooding back.
That's good. Right. Well, good on you, man.
Right.
Did you get a chance did you get a chance to come back up?
I do. Yeah, I do. I'm down here with the armed forces. I'm in the armed forces, which is what I've ended up down here. But I'm leaving very soon, and I actually move back in 3 weeks. And
exciting.
Yeah, my wife's from Newcastle. I'm a Newcastle United supporter.
Right.
With me and a friend of mine up there are setting up a charity in the city centre. So we're setting up a sports charity and everything. So yeah.
Right. Well, if there's anything we can do to help, give us a nod.
Well, if I could just, mention it, sportstrader.com, www.sportstrader.com. It's spelled AI, and we're opening a second-hand shop, and it's going to sell sports equipment donated. But if anybody's listening, knows any sports clubs, or if they've got any sports equipment they can donate, we then sell it on second-hand, and we use all of the money to invest in local sports projects.
That's tremendous. What a great idea. What gave you the idea to do something like that?
It's not my idea. It's a national charity already, and I spoke to the owner of it, and he told me he'd made it to the northeast, and then he said that it was Hull, and as you know, Hull's not the northeast. So I asked him whether he wanted to try and get up to Newcastle, and he said yeah. So
give it a go.
Yeah. So that's the plan. I come back soon, and hearing your voice suddenly just made me realise how pleased I am to be coming back.
Fantastic. Hey, well, a safe journey. Congratulations. How long have you done in the army?
I'm in the Navy. I'm in the Royal
Navy. Beg your pardon.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's coming up to 13 years. It'll be when I leave. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
thank you very much for everything you've done. Absolute respect to you, man.
No worries, no worries. Thank you, Alan. Thank you.
I look forward to talking to you when you come up as well. And good luck with that. Sports
Oh,
Traders,
always.
right?
Sports Trader, www.sportstrader.com. We've got a Facebook group as well, actually. I was just talking to some people in your little Facebook, the group chat kind of thing.
Sure.
So if you don't mind, I'll put the link in there.
Always. Never a worry. We'll talk to you again. Cheers, Rick. All the best.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. In the Navy. There you go. Here we go. Worldwide Ghosts say Night Owls UK, Pink Lane Panther. Pink Lane Panther kind of does it, but Pink Panther's better because, of course, everybody knows Pink Panther. Durham, 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 Durham. And, where else are we going now? I think we're off to South Shields. And it's Steve who's with us. Hello, Steve.
Hey, Alan. I was trying to get on last week, but I had COVID.
Oh, blame you. Are you all right now?
I'm fine now.
Good.
Just at the time I was going to die, but I'm getting better.
Good.
And I've passed my tests and I'm allowed out.
You're free. Hooray.
I'm free.
Oh, well, that's good. So what do you want to talk about then, Steve?
Well, there's two things. One was I sort of was listening tonight, and I listen every week, which I might be listening from 11 or whatever. And I think, I hear the show's going to be ending.
At some point this year, definitely.
Oh, why is that?
Well, I mean, the company that owns the station wants it all to be the same and networked across the country, which means that any of the shows that it stops being nationalized for or networked for have to disappear. So it'll mean that we will have to go too. So we keep going as long as we can. That's what we do.
You'll still be on YouTube, won't you?
We'll still be doing other things. Absolutely, 100%.
Oh dear, mate.
Hey, it may well be that we get a chance to do a lot more. You know that it's so. If nobody else will do it, we'll do it. That's seems to
what
be
you
what we'll
should
do.
do?
What's that?
Like just what that lad's just been on about. You should start doing your own road shows.
Yeah, but it's better if we're on the radio. I think. I think that's what it's
on the
about.
radio,
So if we can do that, we've got opportunities there.
There's all sorts of irons in your fire.
Yeah, absolutely. What was the other thing then?
Well, did you hear the death of one of our rock singers the other day?
Bert from Budgie. Are you talking about?
Bert Shelley, yeah.
Yeah. Nightmare.
He was only 72 or 71.
Yeah, it was one of those bands that was never massive in Britain. It was like a cult band more than anything. I thought they were a bit of Bread fan. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, they done the Saltine Fate Festival in 1981.
Right.
And it was a Gypsy's Green and Shield.
Right.
And they were on with, at the time it was Axe, but then it changed quickly to Fist.
That's right, yes.
And we're standing right in front of him. And my brother had all the other pigs. So
right.
I was right into it, listening to him. And I met our lass in 1981.
Right.
And we went to, I saw him, there's a festival coming on. I got tickets for it. I think they were only about £2 or something.
Right, yeah.
And we got right in front of Budgie. I mean, Tony Borge wasn't playing. It was a different guitarist, but Steve Williams, the drummer,
right,
and Berkshire got down off the stage just at the end, and they signed our laughing ass.
Oh, how
right across our jeans. I
was going to say she didn't have to undress for her to sign up
no,
buttocks.
It wasn't a fair. She kept them jeans for about 30 years.
I bet.
And then, I went through all our drawers and I couldn't find nothing.
Right.
So they must have just vanished.
So somebody had them away on eBay. That's what happened.
I mean, I was sitting there during the concert and I kept saying, "Oh, can I have your Magic Firefly T-shirt?" So I says, "Well, what am I going to wear?" He says, "I'll give you mine." I says, "All right." And it was a concert tour T-shirt for Jethro Tull.
All right. Oh, that's good business.
And I think to myself now, "Oh, that would have been worth money now."
Yeah, great.
But,
Happy days. It's just a shame. And I think you've got to understand that all of those rockers that were massive in 1970, 1980, 1990, it just feels like yesterday to some, but that's 30 years ago, 1990, you know. 1991.
I was on it for 3 or 4 weeks ago when John Miles had died.
Yeah, there you go.
And it just seemed
just sad.
How long we got left, like?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It could happen to anybody, hey? That's the thing. Hey, but hey, but good talking to you, Steve. Thanks for coming on.
At the same time, I'm gutted it's going to be ending eventually.
Everything does eventually. It's what we
Because,
bounce.
I mean, I really was a superhero. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you very much for saying. But
you kept people entertained for 30 odd years, and then all of a sudden, you're off. It's not fair.
But we'll find some other way to get out at you. Don't you worry about that. Thank you very much for coming on.
One more thing.
Yes,
one
ma'am.
more thing, Alan.
Okay.
You know, I told you the other week I've got tickets for White Snake.
Right. Oh, great. Yeah. It's going to be the last one as well.
If you get any interviews with David, there was his autograph.
If I get a chance to chat to him, absolutely will. No problem.
I would be. I would be in awe of having his autograph.
Right.
If you could.
Okay.
He's from one of your legions of fans.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on. So, Steve in South Shields will be the only dob if that actually happens. 0191 488 3188. Alison says, I can't get on tonight, but I've just introduced a friend of mine to Night Owls for the very first time. She lives in Morecambe Bay, and her name is Lisa Valentine. Could Alan please say hello to her and welcome her to the Night Owl family? Hello, Lisa. Good to have you with us. You're going to be my funny Valentine, I hope. Got a few more of those. If every movie ever made was made in the Northeast, what would they be called? The Wickham Man. It's very good. The Wickham Man. Against All Sods. Yeah. Denton Burn Identity. And this one's not nice, but it is actually quite funny. There's a movie called Whiskey Galore. There's an old version and a modern version. This one is Whiskey Girl Whore, which is not quite so nice, really, when you think about it. But let's crack on. Mark is with us. He's in Gateshead. Hello, Mark.
Hello, mate.
Hello.
Mark, the Mad Hedgehog Man from before Christmas.
I remember who you are. What do you want to talk about tonight, then?
Well, nothing really. I've been working shifts, and I'm a bus driver,
right?
And I've not been available on a Sunday night, as this time of night sort of thing. But just funny today, I was on the bus and I wear my battery badge and my regimental badge and my veterans badge.
Right. What regiment were you with, Mark? Who were you with?
Well, I was with 325 every 29 Commando.
Right.
But I just obviously you can't wear your medals on your
not
your
on
bus
a bus
driver suit. But I just wear a little veterans badge.
Right.
And this really old guy got on the bus today and he stumbled on and I'd lowered the bus and everything, but took my time and everything.
Yeah.
And he just looked up and he saw the badge and he just looked at me and saluted me.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh, what a lovely thing to do.
Yeah, it's choked me up now.
That is nice. No, I love all of that, and maybe that's something that should spread across the country. I just think as a way to honour people, to realise and thank them without going into too great a depth, and just to give them a salute so that they know you're thinking of them. That's a lovely thing. Lovely thing, man.
Yeah. Well, you can't judge people by old people got on the bus. He didn't have a badge on or anything.
Right.
But he spotted my badge straight away.
Yeah.
And the first thing he said, what regiment you were? Like you just did. And I said, 18 battery, 3.2. Blah, 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 and I'm like, well, come on, get on the bus, I've got to get going. But,
yeah. Lovely.
But it was great to be, recognised.
No, absolutely. Nice touch. Absolutely nice touch.
But in other news, hedgehogs are all hibernating. I'm building cat trees. I'm supporting New Beginnings cat rescue and charities and stuff.
I've
just recently done an 11-mile walk for Walking with the Wounded.
Right.
Around the Derwent Walk, Save the Derwent Walk. I raised £362 for that.
Great. Good
on you. And I just do that in my spare time. So.
What should we do with hedgehogs? Are all hedgehogs asleep now, or are there still some wandering about?
Well, yeah, if they're wandering about in the daylight, then you need to get them to rescue. If they're not out in the daylight, that's fine. Most of them will be asleep now. They won't be out till the spring. Mine are hibernated. I've got straight 3 or 4 houses.
Right.
They're all asleep.
Right.
You don't disturb them. You leave them alone.
Sure.
Unless you see one in the day. Don't interfere with them at night or whatever.
Right.
They're all hibernating now. They won't be out till spring, and then they'll all be. I almost said shagging. Then I'm sorry. I mean,
it's part of nature. We've watched Attenborough. You don't have to. You don't have to apologise.
Yeah. I'm no Attenborough, but they'll be out in the spring, and then you'll hear them. They can actually be quite loud.
When they're making love, when they're Mr. Lover hedgehog.
Yeah. You put the word in there. When they're doing their things.
What does it sound like? Just so that we know next time we hear it out our window.
It's like a low screechy and lots of huggy sort of.
Yeah, but how do they do it? Because presumably they've got a mount a hedgehog who's all prickly.
Yeah, that's why they go. that's my best impression of a hedgehog trying to
procreate. Yeah, absolutely. I've got you.
Oh yeah, I used the wrong word. No, there's a lot of like a husky noise. It's I don't know. I don't know how to explain that.
But every other hedgehog will know. I understand that. Gotcha.
Oh yeah. You well. Yeah, the thing is, like when they're doing it, it's like late at night, and most people will be inside watching telly and won't even know that they're outside doing that, unless you've got a window open or just lying in bed like 10, 11 o'clock at night,
right?
And your window's open and you hear some funny noises. I mean, you might hear foxes like howling and stuff.
Yeah, foxes doing that is loud. It's a scary thing. It's almost like somebody's being murdered when a fox is at it.
Well, I feed foxes as well. I've got foxes here as well. But hedgehogs, you'll hear them. They're like it's like a huffing noise,
right?
And huffling noise. But anyway,
right.
This probably sending everybody to sleep, which is probably good because they should be asleep at this time of night.
Well, no, they shouldn't. They should have the window open to hear some huffing and puffing. That's what they should be.
Yeah, not till spring.
Not till spring, though. Okay, we
Keep
got you.
The windows open now. Anyway, hey, nice chatting to you, mate. I've got to go to bed because I've got to go and
I understand.
take people to work in the morning.
Things to do. Or are you just going huffing and puffing?
No, I'm just sat here. I've got 2 pussycats on my lap at the minute.
Right.
In bed. I've got to get up at 4:30 because I've got to drive a bus at 6 o'clock.
Else
to take people to work.
Get your head down. Thanks, Mark. All the best.
All right, mate.
Cheers. Bye. Oh, dear. I thought I'd managed to get him to give it an impression. That was brilliant. 01914883188. There's a long message just come in. Let me just swiftly head in that direction. It's from Liam. He says this. Hi, you asked about places to visit for the ghost hunts. I thought I'd message you to avoid spoiling the show or get ridiculed. Don't know if there's any good ghost stories with Gibbside and Rolandscale. Yeah, there is. Has to be the most surreal supernatural experience of my entire life. I'll explain. About 3 years ago, my friend and I were dabbling in a bit of fly fishing, and we decided the River Derwent was a good starter river. Unfortunately, we parked in Gibbside, and when we went back, we found that the car was locked in, so we spent the night. We decided to walk around the grounds. We walked around the forest tracks. We came across a field that had a small shed, woodcutter shed at the foot, and we saw what we thought was a lantern. When we got there was nobody around, and as we continued our walk, we heard what could only be described as a stampede rushing towards us, the ground rumbling and the air being pushed towards us. I genuinely thought I was going to be trampled. As soon as we turned our lamps on it, it went completely silent within a blink of an eye. We also saw a bush that was vigorously shaking, like somebody was shaking it with all their might. We tried to rationalize this. My experience of deer is they leave you alone. But as we kept walking, we heard something scuffling around in front of us. Again, we switched our headlights on and saw God only knows what run across the path in front of us. It wasn't a fox or anything like that. 4 5 foot long. It looked at us and disappeared into the undergrowth. At best, I'd assume it was a pine marten, but I don't know if you get them there. Not that size, you don't. Finally, we came across what I think is the original stables. My mate and I sat on the grass and soaked in the fresh air. Then we saw something at the window, and it appeared to move between windows, stopping to peer out. Eventually, we got pretty unnerved, headed back to the car, which we were stuck in till they opened the gates at 8 a.m. We will never forget that night. The most amazing night I've ever had. You can never tell anyone this and expect them to believe you. Even if they did, they'd never understand the actual effect it has on you. And I still don't feel like I can articulate exactly what we experienced. I've often thought about going back. Seeing you guys do it would be amazing. We'd love to do it. We have asked, and we've got nowhere with them so far, but we will keep nudging until something happens. Anyway, let's go and talk to Stacey in Waka. Hello, Stacey.
Hello, Alan. Are you all right?
I'm good, darling. Thank you for calling. How's things? What's happening with you?
Fine. I'm medically fine.
That's tremendous.
I've been a little bit mentally challenged lately.
Oh dear, what's been wrong? What's been happening?
Just my mind. It's just been a mess.
All right, I'm sorry.
A couple of weeks ago, I took an overdose and I was back in the hospital again.
No, that's not good. Right.
Come home, I've been referred back to a psychiatrist again, but it all turns out that I was originally with mental health. I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder.
Right. Uh-huh.
But now it's not. It's EUPD.
Oh, what's that?
Which is the disorder. So like borderline personality disorder is the borderline of it.
Right. I see.
So now I don't have the full lot of it now.
Right. So what can they do? What can they do about that?
I probably have to change my medication.
Right.
And that's it.
Oh, well, that's all right.
Just keep fighting through, I suppose.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, good luck with that.
So that's what's been happening.
Right.
I don't know if I've told you, but my little sister, is pregnant.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
She's 20 weeks pregnant.
Right.
So I'm going to be auntie again. So that's 2 now.
Good.
That's great. So since I've been out of hospital to keep my mind occupied, I've been doing, me and Kevin's been doing the flat out.
Right.
We're still in the same place we were when I phoned up for help the last time.
Yeah.
We're still in the same place, just modernising it, you know.
That's good. So you painting it and decorating and all that kind of thing?
Yeah.
That's good.
And also, I don't know if I told you about this, about fighting for PIP.
Fighting for?
PIP, the disability benefit.
Oh, yes. I know.
I eventually won it.
Great.
After a great fight.
Uh-huh.
I got lower rate. A lot of people say you should have got higher rate with my conditions.
Right.
But I'm not going to fight it, you know what I mean? I didn't want the money to start with. I didn't want to claim the benefit to start with.
Uh-huh.
But like my cancer doctor and my normal doctor was saying, you're entitled to it, so put in for it.
Right.
So I'm not going to fight it anymore. I'm just going to accept for what I've got.
See what you've got. No, I understand that.
Also, another thing, I read online about white feathers.
Yes.
What's the story about that? Like spiritually?
Some people believe that if they see a white feather, it's a message from the other side, from someone that you've lost, to let you know that things are okay and that you shouldn't worry about them. Some people say they're angels. It's a feather from an angel's wing. It could be a pigeon, but many people believe that white feathers particularly are a sign from the other side. What's happened then?
Well, I always believed in that. Like, I'm a bit psychic myself. I always believe in stuff like that. So as we've been moving around, we've lived in this house about 3 or 4 years now.
Right.
And we've never, ever, ever, ever had like a pigeon feather or
Any
a
feather.
butterfly or anything like that lately.
Right.
And today, Kevin, my partner, has been, bless him, he's been so worried when I've been like mentally challenged, I suppose. He was in his room today and a white feather just flew in the window.
How about that? There you go. So have you got anybody on the other side that you love, that you miss?
Me?
Yes.
Me, it's just been my granddad's memory, New Year's Eve.
Right.
New Year's Day.
Oh, well, there you go. So that's close. Right.
So I don't know if it was for me or for him.
Who knows?
Because he's lost his mum and his dad.
Oh, blimey, that's tough.
But it seems so close to my granddad's memory,
Yeah, because the dates kind of match. I see it.
And then I was thinking, why go in his bedroom?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting.
But that's what's been happening, really, just being in the house.
Well, I'm just glad you're all right. Stay strong. Get that medication sorted out so that you're back balanced again. Because we don't want you doing any backsliding. We onward and upwards. Better. It's going to be a better year for you, Stacey.
I hope so.
It will. It will. Thank you for calling. Great to hear from you, love.
No bother.
Take care. Bye-bye. 0191 488 3188. Mike is in Amble. Hello, Mike.
Yeah. Hi, Alan.
Hello, mate.
It's been a couple of years since I phoned.
Welcome back. Thank you.
I phoned about what I'm ringing tonight about is a copy of your book. There's a braille copy of your book.
Right.
I'm wondering if you can post a copy.
We'll let you know how to get hold of one. That's no problem. I'll hand you back to Chris at the end of the conversation. He'll sort you out. That's easy done. So, anything else?
No, I haven't found a permanent girlfriend. I still talk to James on the Wirral.
Right. Still haven't found a lady yet, though. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I got myself an escort.
Oh, did you? All right. So you save up. Was it dear?
No.
No. Okay. Well, that's good. So is she looking after you?
It was a one night thing.
Oh, right. I see. Okay.
It's been a while. It was a one night thing.
Was it nice?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good then. I'm glad.
Not a proper relationship, but
would be nice. I understand that. So what are you doing?
I lost one of my chess friends.
Right.
Les Whittle, is that a name that's familiar with you?
Right. No, not particularly, but I'm sorry that you lost him. I mean, did you lose him, you mean literally, or did you lose him just as a friend?
He died.
Oh, he died. Right. Okay. Right. And but you'd like a girlfriend still, obviously. Keep your chess interest going. You fancy mating, I think. Is that right? Right. But what are you doing to try and find a girlfriend, though? Are you on any websites to try and find one?
It's a difficult one. A permanent girlfriend.
You want a proper girl? No, I know that, but you've got to put yourself out there to get one, because they're not just going to walk and knock you on your front door, are they? That's the thing.
No.
Right. Okay. Well, good luck. I just hope you find one, because you sound like it would be life changing.
I had a good experience. It was a Spanish lady.
Right. Okay.
Planning to go on holiday later in the year. So.
Well, that'd be fantastic. Fingers crossed that you have some luck there, Mike. Thank you very much for calling. 0191 488 3188. So, there you go. Try to find a girlfriend.
and asking a professional to help in the meantime. 0191 488 3188. Still want some more of those book titles? This is a very rude joke, can I say, Christopher? Christopher says, joke, probably not for air. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but everything inside me screams, tell him it, Alan. Just tell him it and move on. And even if you, Alan, sound appalled at the end of it. Did you know, I'm so tempted. Did you know that when pigeons have sex, they die? And then somebody's answered this on the web saying, really? And the guy says, well, the one that our bonk did. Now, you see, that's just wrong. It's wrong at so many levels. Respect and love pigeons. They are merely part of the circle of life. There you go. Let's have a superstar talking about hits and stuff, because we are Greatest Hits Radio Northeast. So, we're going to play you some Thin Lizzy. So let's have me talking to Scott Gorham. We had Phil on the other week when we played Boys Are Back in Town. Different track tonight. So let's talk to Scott Gorham about the worst pain he has ever suffered.
Well, I think probably the worst one really on tour was Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
We're pretty much right in the middle of a big old American tour. And I had this move where I would jump up on the drum riser, mess around with Brian Downey for a while, turn around and do a big old leap off the drum riser and jump down with Phil, and we do this little routine kind of thing.
Yeah.
I've done it 100 times. So they were watching DC, up on the drum riser, did the thing with Brian, turned around, jumped up there, right? And I had to have landed wrong because I think my left leg went to the right, my body went to the left, and my kneecap went straight out.
Oh,
and I tore that baby right off, right? And I just crumbled on the stage like a pile of garbage, right? And of course, a lot of people thought I was part of the act, right? With the roadies dragging me unceremoniously off the stage, and pulling me behind the amps. I'm going, whoa!
I think that's Alice Cooper. That's not.
And I thought I just absolutely broken my leg, right? But I think my body was still in shock because I'm moving the leg. I thought, oh, geez, I probably just kind of knocked it out of whack. I'm okay now. Give me the guitar. So the guitar tech gives me a guitar. I go back out and jump up on this monitor, and right there I shredded the whole thing right on the spot. And I watched my knee go from normal to it ballooned up about probably another 12, 16 inches, and now I can't get down off of the monitor. Now I got to get help off this. I had to go straight off to the hospital, emergency hospital.
This is the kind of thing we'd want to play with.
Yeah. Look. Oh, you've just done that, haven't you, though? Is there anyone there? What's your name? David. They're all names. All names. David, Dale. Paul. Myra.
Myra. That's a woman with girl who should be
Did you die here? Did you die here?
Said the same word twice there, but I can't make out what it was.
No.
What word was that?
Bomb.
Bomb.
Your work can feel much smoother with Monday.com WorkOS. This smooth. All you need to do to get started is choose one of our templates.
We know what happened to you here. Did you know what it was? Could you imagine if the bomb went off and they knew that the roof was going to come in? We know what happened to you. Were you in pain?
That was me. That was you, Charlie.
You know that it was a bomb, and you lost your family, all the people you loved. Can you remember anything about it? Did you survive? Did you survive the blast? We're here for you. Talk to us. Talk to us. Let's do a cruise of the place like we did with the screen. We're here for you.
No, Kenny, because it'll block your camera that you're wearing and we need that footage. We need your night vision.
Do you play here? Do you play here? Talk to us. I want to talk to you. What's your name? Your name. Freezing down here. You died beneath this floor. We're getting a lot of children. I don't know whether you're aware of that. Speak to us. We're giving you a chance to talk to us. So, oh, hang on, that's the box. Let's avoid that.
That would have been me. A big mirror in here.
I can't remember where I put the second pendulum. Because it's not where I think, oh, blimey. You haven't been in here. We want to look at that with the...
So, yeah, I'm looking in the mirror now.
No, what I mean with that camera.
Oh, yeah.
Is that about you, Kenny? Did you hear a bang? Did you hear a bang?
I heard, yeah.
I thought it was you.
No, I was across here. I was just set up the different place, setting on top of there.
Well, that's where I put him. Is it moving a little bit, or is it just me?
This is real life conversation with the voice of the North.
This is Night Owls with Alan Robson.
Call 0191 488 3188.
Greatest Hits Radio.
And time for some more of our if every movie ever made was made in the glory that is the Northeast, what would they all be called? Well, we've got another couple that are just genius. Instead of Revenge of the Sith, we've got Revenge of the Filth. Nissan Easy Does It. Not so good. I like these two, though. Corbridge over the River Tyne, which is accurate, and The Swarland That Time Forgot. There you go. Even getting the smaller villages in, too. 0191 488 3188. Joni Mitchell sang a song. I woke up, it was a Chelsea morning, and the first thing that I'm going to do is talk to Peter, who's in Chelsea. Hello, Peter.
Hello there, hello. It's nice to speak to you.
Good to catch you too. What are you talking about tonight then, Pete?
Just like to wish you a belated Happy New Year, you know?
Thank you. And to you.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, did you do your ancestral research, you know? Your genealogy.
We've done a little bit of it. About what in particular?
Oh no, just said you knew about my ancestral research, you know, the royal people, etc.
Yes, no, I know that you've related to pretty much everybody who's part of the royal family. I should be curtsying when you come on.
When you think some of them did bad things, you know, like I was watching Are You Being Served the other day, you know, and they were talking about Beckett. And is it Henry II or something? Is it
I didn't see it, so I didn't catch the episode.
My grandparents, you know, my grandfathers.
Right.
But them Roman emperors were villains, really, weren't they? You know, when you think.
Right.
From the Christians to the lions, etc. And I'll say you never know, but
no, you don't.
I don't know if you did it. Sometimes you get the frame research on bank holidays, etc. You know.
No, that's right. Well, I mean, we've done a little bit on ourselves. We got a chance to do that ancestry.com kind of thing, which basically just told us where our ancestors came from, and some of us were European, some of us were Scandinavian, some of us were Celtic. So
yes, it is.
It is fascinating. Right.
You see, it's a different world than when I was born in the 60s. You know, things have changed, haven't they? Really.
Very much so.
Technology.
Yeah. How come though? How come you're not invited to garden parties though? With the history that you've got.
It's gone over the top. That Starmer is just, I mean, he's a jinx. There's been nothing but bad luck since he come on the scene.
So, is there anybody better in Labour you think should be doing the leader's job?
Oh, the best one was John Smith. Sadly, he passed over. He would have led us into a better world.
Right.
It's costing £20,000 a week for Sir Tony Blair's security. And his son, Ewan Blair, he grew up in Downing Street. His net worth is 145 million. He's got his own tech business, etc.
Right.
It's disgrace. It's scandalous, isn't it? Really.
Well, I mean, a lot of people disagreed with his knighthood, absolutely, and didn't understand how that came about. But hey-ho.
Yeah. I can remember just in the late 70s, I started a Pyrex college in Sunderland. And then there was 500,000 jobs lost, when they joined the EU, industrial jobs.
Right.
And there was an energy crisis, etc. And it was cheaper to get the glass imported from France to stick the Pyrex label on the cordons label.
Yeah.
The energy cost was too much. Just come in and circles.
Crazy, isn't it? I know.
Anyway, I cut off and listen to a bit of music and think a bit positive,
Right, good.
Because it's annoying,
Right.
I'll say there's not many people like Stormy, I think a lot of people still like Boris,
Do you think?
He's got a lot of supporters.
Right, okay, well, it'll be interesting to see if he can survive. We know that I think there need to be 54 to generate 54 MPs against him to generate a new leadership challenge. And there's 35 for sure. 35 have come out. So there's only, I think, 19 more to go, and he's in trouble.
They wasn't doing much for the North, really.
Well, they haven't had a chance, have they? They haven't been in.
I can remember the good old days from the 60s. It was booming. You could, you didn't know, I lived over Roker, you didn't have to go over the town. There was all that shops and that,
Yeah, a lot of local shops had, local villages had Woolworths and that kind of thing. Absolutely, I remember.
My mum used to go along the old quayside, the Industrial Public Cranes, etc.
Yeah.
That was just about 1982. I seen Bobby Thompson once in the casino. It was only about
sounds right.
I said, "How's your dad?" And he gives a right look. I like Bobby because he would laugh about things,
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think my granddad was about the same age. He knew what makes it. He's from Pension.
Right.
Good man. He used to laugh about things like that, because people could understand,
Absolutely. He's made his albums still a bestseller up here.
Yeah, we've never had it so good compared to some poor people. There's years ago that was rough,
That sounds right. But thank you very much for coming on. Good to hear from you. There's Peter in Chelsea, a whole range of stuff. Let's dive on, see who else we can get on the show tonight. Hope it's you. Chris the Truck has sent some more in. Black Hawk Dune, Men in Black and White, The Girl on the Metro, instead of Titanic, The Tuxedo, The Boat That Rocked, Wallace and Gromit, The Rang Trousers, Alice in Jodyland. Can you come up with some more movies made in the North? Lisa's with us. She's in Killingworth. Hello, Lisa.
Hiya, how are you doing?
I'm all right, darling. Thank you for calling. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I've been on the show previously. I finally reported a sexual abuse and rape case from a week after my 10th birthday.
Oh my goodness! So, I mean, how did they react to that?
Well, all of the family denied any knowledge.
Right.
And it wasn't until on my uncle's deathbed, my uncle was this guy's stepfather.
Right.
He denied all knowledge.
Right.
But on his deathbed, he called the police back in
Uh-huh.
and gave a full supporting statement in my favour.
Wow.
So they all knew about it, and they actually had a family conference and decided that they weren't going to call the police.
What?
So anyway, it took nearly 2 years for them to find him. They brought the guy in. He no commented on every single question.
Yeah.
Once I got the supporting statement, because I was so precise, that was a week after my 10th birthday. It turned out he was 2 months shy of his 14th birthday, which back then was the criminal age of liability.
All right. Oh,
So they
no.
couldn't prosecute. But I was out on a night out with my friend, and I got to meet one of her friends, and we got talking because this was going on at the time.
Yeah.
And this friend of hers said she was so pleased that I had reported things because stuff had happened to her.
Oh, right.
And then a few months ago, she contacted me and said that because of my courage of doing what I did, she reported her thief, as she called him.
Great.
And he's actually getting prosecuted.
Fabulous.
So there's something good come from it.
There has. How do you find the courage to open a dark door in your past like that, though? Because that is gutsy.
The only reason I did it is because my uncle, who was his stepfather, had been diagnosed with terminal prostate cancer.
Right.
And I was facing going to his funeral and meeting him.
Right.
And I just thought, I've been a victim long enough.
Yeah.
So I just phoned the police.
But you know, your 10, it was just before your 10th birthday, you said. So you're a 9-year-old.
No, it was a week after my 10th birthday.
Week after, I beg your pardon. But you're a 10-year-old little girl.
Yeah.
And you, because this guy's family, surely following on from that, you must have had to see him in family parties, in aunties' houses, uncles, nana's house. Did you never come across him?
Yeah. My uncle, who was his stepfather, when his mother died, which was my grand sister, I had to go, and I was 22 then. I had to go through the funeral with him sat behind me.
Oh my goodness!
And I was in bits.
I bet you were shaking.
And that's why when I knew my uncle was dying, I thought, I'm not going through that again.
Right.
And that's why I reported things.
Brilliant. No, you see, the way that I view this is, and yes, of course, he should have been prosecuted, and no excuse, and not even. There's no justification out of age or anything like that. No excuse for it. But on saying that, the fact that you went out on a limb and got the backing of your uncle on it, he's outed in front.
Not initially, but eventually.
No, absolutely. But eventually, the whole family and everybody that knows them gets to hear what kind of creature that character is. No, he still. I know the prosecution couldn't happen, but you still shamed the hell out of him, and deservedly so. And as of something else coming out of it, that's tremendous as well.
The other thing is, right, I had to go. I gave a 40-page statement,
right,
over 4 hours,
right,
and I agreed for it to be shared with social services if he has anything to do with kids.
Right.
So he's on the radar, and that's the best I could do.
No, absolutely. And because you see, the way that I look at stuff like this is, if he's that young and gets away with it, that's tantamount to encouragement, isn't it? For him, well, I might as well do it again because nothing happened the last time that I did something. That's awful thought.
I know he's been in and out of prison all his life. They
Right.
won't tell me why, because of data protection.
If it's stuff like this, though, they should never get out. That's the thing.
Well, I know that the policewoman that dealt with it told me he's the most horrible person she's ever met. That's all the feedback I've got.
Right. Well, I mean, his life's been pants, and deservedly so for what he did. But hey, absolute respect to you, and well done, Lisa, because you played a blinder girl, and that's courage. And you see, now you don't have to make any excuses about anything to do with him because he's out of your life for good now.
The only bad point is, while this has been going on, I've been stood off from work for 3 years.
Stood off from work? What do you mean?
Because this was going on, work didn't want me working.
What?
So I've been stood off from work.
Were they
for 3
paying
years
you?
now.
Were they paying you though?
Oh yeah, I'm getting paid.
Right.
But it doesn't help your mental health.
No, my goodness, of course not. It would have been better if they were if everything else was normal. You should have better chance of dealing with it. I would have thought, but. Hey, well, let's hope you'll be back soon. Lisa, thank you for calling, but courageous. Well done. Thank you for calling.
Okay, thanks.
Bye-bye. How about that? Incredible. Let's have a bit of music, bit of Rod, but not just Rod on his own. Let's high in for good measure. Ian McLaglen and Kenny Jones and Ronnie Wood. And we'll call them the Faces. Ronnie Lane's going to be in there as well, just remembered. This is one of the Faces hits. Most people always play. They tend to always play Stay With Me, which is a classic. But they did You Can Make Me Dance, You Can Make Me Sing. That was enormous. And so was this.
I'm not sure if it is. It's moving a tiny bit.
Yeah. And the other one is where? Oh, it's
People
on
are
the
hearing
handle.
whispers.
Sorry?
People are hearing whispers.
People are hearing whispers. It's moving.
Yeah, I think that's moving. That's moving, isn't it? It's not just a light. It's not
No, I think it's moving.
Can't see because of your light.
Move the light out.
I think that's moving. It is moving. You can see it's moving from here.
It's not much. I don't think it's much. No, it's moving. If you're a child here, move more. Make the pendulum move more. Make it move. If you want us to know that you're real,
That is moving.
move more so.
It's definitely moving.
Looks like it's moving. Make it move more. Then we'll know that you're there. Yeah, it's moving.
Yeah.
Give us a sign, make a noise, do something. So we've had screams, we've had men on that new camera thing.
Whispers.
Boys, whispers.
Bang.
We had a bang out of nothing. Were the balls going off before, or was that you?
No, that was just me moving them. They haven't went off yet. I moved Ted back like across to here.
Oh, I see. Right. That makes sense. Just so I can remember where I've put all my traps.
Well, he needs to go in that corner there. Next to Ted. Oh, that camera gone.
It was off. I don't know why it was turned off. So I put it over there just to get the whole area.
Oh, right.
Must have switched. Yeah.
Where's the camera now?
It's on there. It switched itself off there. So I've just put it over here just to capture the whole area. It's gone off again.
It's gone off?
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't just go off. I was recording.
It can't just switch off.
It is. I mean, it was recording and there was battery there. I'll change the battery.
That's ridiculous.
That's twice it's gone off with a battery in it. That works. How weird.
How do you know it's still on? It's just because the green light's on.
Well, it should be red, but I was recording in red, so.
Oh my
Oh!
God! Oh my God!
He says you can start again, Ted. And Ted goes.
Oh my God!
That was
Well,
just.
the kids saw. This is where the kids are.
It's where they were playing. Is this where you like to be? Is this where you were?
That was ridiculous. I said you can start again if you want, Ted, and it just went.
That's wild.
Now I'm creeped out.
Children, make it happen again. Go for it. We'd love you to.
Weird. Go on then. Set the ball off again. Sorry if I scared you there when I shouted, but it was just good for us to know you're here.
Tony's just changing the battery if you're wondering what some of the noise is.
Set itself up, right, with battery on it. So it's just draining the battery. Well, no, there's battery on it. That is absolutely crazy. Go on then. That's what they're there for. That's Gwen. Girl doll. That's Ted. Supernatural Ted. If you want to touch the ball, make it go off. There's a wire there.
I see it.
Make it go off if you want. That was weird.
At least we've had a few things tonight.
On again.
There she goes.
And again. You cannot mistake that. Cannot mistake that, can you?
No.
So it's obviously that corner.
That's where we've seen a lot of stuff.
That was crazy.
Let's move. There she goes.
Again.
Again. Don't need the torch, Ken?
No, you can see that, can't you?
Clearly.
So it's this corner that we know definitely.
And Gwen's just... What was that?
0191 488 3188.
This is Night Owls.
Greatest hits radio.
You are with the big one. Time for that third clue. Now, remember, every single clue gives you a song title, and you've got to work out whose hits they happen to be. First clue is this. If you rise in the morning, this is what you may do later. This is what you may do later. Second clue, what you might say to a boyfriend or girlfriend if you would like them to stay the night. Okay? They're ready to go home, but you would say this to them if you want them to stay the night. Third clue, what somebody tells you when you ask directions if they know. What do they say? What somebody says to you when you ask directions if they know. Okay? 3 clues down. The fourth clue is the absolute giveaway. It's yours in about 14, 15 minutes. So get ready for that. Let's talk to Matthew. Hello, Matthew.
Hello, Alan. Yeah, the show's end. I'm very broken-hearted about that. I mean, I'm very sad about that. The show.
We're miles off yet, so don't worry about it till we get closer.
Are you on in June, July, and May? By the way.
Well, you'll have to just wait and see. But we'll go on as long as we can. That's the thing.
Okay, I'll still be ringing still. I'm saying, Alan, Boris Johnson on Boris Johnson point. Do you think he's been a bit of an idiot now and resign? I think he should resign. I mean,
a lot of people believe that he's lied since he got in there, and I can't deny that seems to be the way.
I'm saying, Alan, if he doesn't resign, you don't think there's going to be more lockdowns? There'll not be a lockdown if he goes, will there? No. Can I do that?
I would hope there's no more lockdowns at all, full stop. So that's what I'm hoping anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm saying, Alan, when the show does end, do you think they'll leave the SoundCloud thing on? A bit worried that they'll delete them. They mean a lot to me.
Well, I mean, hopefully they'll not. But bottom line is, we'll be back in another way somewhere else. Don't worry.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. I'm saying, Alan, I'm going out with Ian on Wednesday down to the game shop. I'm going to buy a back-compatible title for Xbox One, Max Payne free. I like the Max Payne free games, I mean.
Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, I don't know the game, but I've seen the film, and the film was good.
Yep. The game is... I've not played the game yet, but I've heard of it. I've watched people play it. It's a good game.
Right, good.
I think Xbox added it for that anniversary, by the way.
Right, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good. I mean, I bet you must spend an awful lot of time in game, because it's your kind of shop, isn't it?
When your show's not on, I just listen to the calls back. It's not the same.
No,
so I'm glad the companies give her a chance to talk to you. I'm happy about that.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll keep going as I say, as long as we can, and then we'll find something else to do.
Yeah, I watched Vera tonight. I enjoyed it. Vera was on to saying she arrested somebody, saying you arrested someone.
Where was she in the northeast? Do you know where she was?
She was at the beaches at the beach, I think.
All right.
She was at the beach. She was, yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
So that's what you normally do. You're normally going down the beach, don't you?
Yeah. I'm saying I'm going down to the beach again. We usually go to Whitley Bay or Seaton Sluice Beach, but usually there's a beach where Ian goes where the Lou is, and he says, "Oh, I'll go to Lou." I said, "Go to the beach." Really funny. I'll give me shout out, Marion, give me shout out to Ian and shout out everybody else knows me and Stewie. I'm saying on another point, I was watching Emmerdale the other day and I enjoyed it.
Good.
And they were in the murder inquiry, and the woman tried to kill this lad and this woman and lock her in a barn, and she walked away and she changed her name and she went in the Jeep within a barn, you know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Sounds
Yeah.
exciting.
But
You love your soaps, I know that.
I'm saying, Alan, I heard about Hobie City. When I heard about Night Owl's accent again, the Hobie City's accent as well, that's sad as well.
Is that right? Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame.
It is. Okay.
I hope you come back. A couple of other things. Do you think it's going to rain or snow this week, by the way?
At the end of this week, it's going to get colder and it'll probably snow round about then. And certainly Monday, Tuesday next week.
I'm saying, Alan, you kind of get the PS5 still. Do you think there's going to be any more stock? Because I know a lot of people want it. They're
just building up the fact that people want it, so that then when it's released, it'll sell lots and lots and lots. So don't worry, it's definitely coming. So
I'm saying, Alan, I lost my Uncle Gavin last Thursday. He died last Thursday. My Uncle Gavin did.
Oh, that's all. Were you close to him?
Well, my auntie ignored him.
Yeah.
I was upset, so I had to listen to a different radio station because he meant a lot to me, my Uncle Gavin. I'm saying, Alan, two more things I'll go. I'm saying, they're saying that Danny Dyer's leaving EastEnders. There's a heartbroken about that. Danny Dyer leaving EastEnders and that.
Yeah, I've heard that too. But I think he's joining another soap, mind. I don't know which one, but I've heard he's changing soaps. That's all.
I'm saying, Alan, they're saying that why Hobie City's accent, do you remember a program called Walty Road? It's a school drama on the telly, by the way.
Right, I've heard of it, haven't seen it. But,
and they're saying it's bringing it back. They're bringing it back, but they're going to film in Manchester. How they're going to film it with a COVID outbreak, I don't know how they're going to do that. You know what I mean?
I think most people are kind of past the whole COVID thing. Then,
Alan, do you think, in your opinion, do you want Boris Johnson to be gone if he's going to not tell the truth? By the way.
I hate lying politicians, and he's one of the most lying politicians. So I wouldn't miss him.
Yeah, I'm saying, Alan, if we get somebody else in who's going to give a lockdown again, big worry case that Boris goes, he says, and then Kim Thomas give a lockdown again.
It won't happen. Don't worry about lockdowns. We're over the lockdown. All right. Hey, but lovely talking to you, Mark.
My last thing before I go, Alan, I'm saying, what's your favourite Tim Allen film, by the way? If you know what I mean, by the way?
Tim Allen film. The Santa Claus. Thought he was good in that.
My favourite film is The Santa Claus. Good night, Alan. Speak to you next Sunday.
Thanks, Matthew. Take care. Bye-bye. There's Matthew. Don't worry about we're gonna make things. If people won't do the stuff that we want to do, we'll just do it, and we'll do it with your company, I hope. So just get ready to spread the word and hang on in there. We will we're very close to that last clue, though. We're 5 minutes away. So just before we go across to Alison from Anfield Pit, I didn't think it was coming on, but she is. We're talking about the war before and the horrible bombing of the Wilkinson's lemonade factory and the biggest single bomb death toll of World War II, which is amazing. Other than obviously in Britain, I'm talking about, not Nagasaki or Hiroshima, whatever I'm saying. We got another bomb raid shelter memory.
I was born in 1940.
Right.
I remember being taken down to the Anderson shelter in the bottom of the Gone.
Right.
Whether I was carried or walked or crawled, I don't know. But I can see lights in the sky.
Wow.
And they say when you're a kid, you don't remember things, but I can remember that.
Well, maybe if it is as graphic as that, there's certain things that you're not likely to forget.
But I don't know what it was. Well, it might have been aeroplanes, it might have been searchlights, it could have been bombs, it could have been anything. But I remember seeing things in the sky.
Amazing.
I had meningitis. There was an air raid, and it was in the goods yard over at Newcastle, just over the river from where I lived.
Right.
And my mum and I couldn't go out the shelter, so I had to sit in our kitchen, as you call it, your living room then, right in the corner where the cupboard was.
Oh, because you were too ill to be moved.
I couldn't go out. We just sat here, and maybe the rest of the family were all in the Anderson shelter, but we just had to sit there. And I can remember hearing the bombs go off. Really frightening, you know.
I know a lot of people say, well, if they were bombing particular targets, then the houses were safe. The reality was they were bombing anything they could, and they were dropping bombs all over the place.
Well, they were one in the shipyards, weren't they?
Yeah, that's what I am.
Armament factory, Armstrongs, you know, the river.
The Apollo on Shields Road.
Yes.
I can remember that.
When you say you remember it, did you actually hear the things happen? Or?
Yes. When the sirens used to go, and I used to run down the front stairs to go to the shelter and scream and scream and scream because I hated the sirens.
Because you knew the sirens meant something bad.
I knew what they meant, yes.
Right. When you were little, though, and because this is strange, because my earliest memories are probably, I've got a couple of just little daft things from like 2s and 3s, but you start to remember round about kind of 4 or 5, and they do stay with you. At that age, I presume hiding in a shelter so you didn't get blown to pieces became just what happens then.
It was one of those things you all made for the shelter, and I hated the shelter.
Well, there multiple ones, because my mother used to have in her backyard one of these like little put-me-up corrugated room, Anderson shelter. That's right.
No, these were in the front street and the back lane, brick built.
Right.
And there was 2 bunks in, and the rest of you had to sit on the floor.
And did everybody pile into them?
Everybody piled in, yes.
Forgive my ignorance here, but it's made of brick. It'd be the same as if it hit the house, wouldn't
it? With a concrete roof. And probably there wouldn't have been any shelter at all.
Would have been much help. Scary, though. But presumably because you had a shelter, you felt safer. So it was not necessarily to keep you safe. It was to make you think you were safe. How scary is that when you think about it? 0191 488 3188. Let's get Alison on. Hello, Alison.
Hi, Alan. How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Happy New Year. I haven't spoke to you this year.
All the best to you, too. I hope it's the best year ever. Right.
Yes. It's certainly going to be a different one, put it that way.
For sure. So what you got
so
for me tonight,
I just
then?
thought I'd come on and just chat in general about things that's been happening.
Okay.
One of the things that I like listening to the stories and that's been on tonight, I don't know how people survived back then.
No.
In bomb shelters, and I think like if that was thrust upon us, like I know we've had a pandemic thrust upon us, but I think if that's something like that where your house can be taken away, you can end up like the one earlier where they got £100 and they'd lost everything.
Yeah. I think,
and you just think
we're very. I think I'm not just speaking for myself. I think in general, comparatively, we're quite materialistic now. You know, we want our computers, our phones. I can't manage without my phone. Back then, there was not even a thought of it. Your house didn't have a phone, let alone you didn't have a phone.
Yeah.
And yet everything to be taken away. That's why we can't rationalize it in our own heads, because we've got, what you mean? I wouldn't be able to take more than one pair of trainers. You know, no, you'd lose everything, every single thing you own. Cars, if not many people had them, but those that did would lose them if the house came down on it. You know, that's the end of everything that you own. I just think courageous time for people, because you didn't have an option.
Yeah.
But blimey, those ones that signed up and went to war. And I know my dad was in World War II and didn't tell me a lot. But every time that a place called Monte Cassino was mentioned, and there was a film on TV about how the Americans apparently won it, because it was a film made by America about Monte Cassino, and the Americans did everything. The British were there. But they were just watching. And my dad, I remember my dad's ears perking up anytime anybody mentioned it, because he lost a few of his friends there, and then never wanted to talk about anything. The only thing he would say was, after everything quietened down, we all went to Rome for an afternoon and we all got drunk. And you think, he'll tell you the nice bits, but he stays well away from the nasty bits. And I found a lot of people that
served and fought in World War II do the same kind of thing. They come back, but they just don't speak of the unspeakable, because it would have been.
Yeah, you can't even comprehend it, can you? It's like, I think the way we function now, it's like, you can understand why all the soldiers and everything come back with post-traumatic stress, because we function completely different to it. Everybody seemed so happy back then, even though they were going through such traumatic times, like community and like, you hear stories of like how they all got together and they laughed and they were this and they were the other, and they do tell you the funny stories. I know my grandma and granddad used to tell us like all the funny things that happened, but never about the front line, never about.
No, I know.
Yeah.
The weird thing was, many years ago, what I wanted to do was to go to the Durham Light Infantry Museum.
Oh, I love that place.
And fill it with veterans from the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. And we did this show. We did a road show, like a singy dancey road show outside. And then we recorded it. We recorded it from 6 till 10, then put it out 10 till 2, if that makes sense, because obviously with the older people, you kind of, you're not going to keep them up till 2 o'clock in the morning. So I would have done, but I know they suffered enough, I think. But we got this entire building full of people who had gone through the war. And I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play clips from newsreels starting in 1939, when Chamberlain announced we are at war with, whatever. So starting with Chamberlain's speech, right the way up till VJ Day, the end of the war over yonder. And every time we hit a year, somebody would put their hand up and go, oh, that was the year I was sunk. And then you go, oh, hang on. And you got this amazing, incredible stories. I mean, I wish we had it all on tape, because it was
and was it not?
It was early days. It was early days of us doing specials, because traditional talk shows would never even think of doing anything like that. It would be gold dust to have it now. And I remember one woman talking about, I remember just what it was like down our back lane when there was an air raid. And you go, what happened? And I would predict, in your head, you think, oh, they'll all run to the shelter. They were all out watching the planes flying and shooting at each other. And, here's some bombs. And if a bomber started literally bombing, then they'd all run for a shelter. But if it was just planes firing at each other, they wanted to see that going on. But if you think about it, any bullet that misses a plane, whether it's fired from a British plane or an enemy plane, it's got to land somewhere. And everybody's just outside with their pinnies on, looking up at the sky, thinking, well, this is it.
It is a picture of pinnies, isn't it?
Right. You think pinny headscarf. And I would imagine the women dress like that as well. But no, just everybody out there with their arms full. I'm seeing men with woolly vests, tops on, and bare sleeves.
And the kids running around.
Raggedy, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, it's Rob, my husband, his grandma, their house was bombed in London.
Right.
And she was saved by the wardrobe. The wardrobe landed on top of her, and the house, literally half the house was gone. And the wardrobe landed on top of her and saved her life. And you just think, how do people get over that? If something happened like that now, it would be all over the papers. It would be, it would be horrendous. It used to be daily life.
Yeah. This is the thing, you hear about London, and you hear Coventry as well was flattened pretty much, wasn't it? We hear during the war. And by me checking out and following this North Shields story, which there's even people in North Shields that don't know that it happened, but apparently it wasn't released to everyone, the all of the British public, till 2007. Now,
really?
everybody in North Shields knew what had happened, and there was people in North Shields writing books about it, as we've heard. But it wasn't announced officially till 2007, when somebody wrote the story of it and sent it off to a national newspaper who printed it. And then the War Office had to come out and say, oh, yes, it was one of the many atrocities that happened during World War II that we decided it was against. It's not what the public wanted to hear because it would have brought them down rather than lift them up. And you think, surely 1946 would have done. Do you know what I mean? Immediately after the war, if you were going to hold it back. And I don't see any rationale. And I got angry a bit about it because all of those people died. Many of them just put in a pit, they weren't individually identified because they were just a mound of. And one woman, what was it? Evelyn Thomas, the woman's name was. Her job, right the way through the night, along with some special constables, were to go through the rubble and picking up bits of bodies and putting them in pails. Bits of bodies, put them in pails. Now, even if your house hadn't collapsed, even if you weren't in that shelter, how do you live with that? How do you go back to working in a shop or a factory after you've had to do that? Whoa, talk about PTSD, for them to say.
The people that knew the people that were in there, it's like the trauma of the whole community, not just the people who'd lost their lives and their families.
Yeah. It's the guy from the fish shop. It's the bloke from around the corner. It's me next door neighbour. It's everybody that you know suddenly changes overnight. Scary. Entire families are gone.
Yeah, and you just think, it should be remembered, and that's why I love what you do, and I love learning the history because there's so much that I don't know from around here, and I've lived here most of my life.
Yeah,
and you just think, wow, that means the people that lived here, the communities that went before us, that's what they had to deal with.
Yeah.
And I think
took it for granted as well.
Yeah.
The thing that I noticed, though, was, and it was funny, because at the end of that show we did at the DLI, at the end of it, we had a few actors and singers to come in and play on guitars and do a lot of the songs from the Blitz and all that kind of thing. And instantly everybody was one. It wasn't like, because now, you go to a karaoke or something and one person sings and a few people bitch about them and the other ones say how well they're doing and one or two people sing along. That's what happens. Once we told, because we went through the war together in a strange way. I was there reliving the war through.
But it was amazing.
It was one of the best gigs, best shows that we've ever done. But we'd relived it. And then all of a sudden they're singing, there'll be Bluebirds Over, We'll Meet Again, all of the classic songs from World War II, many of them that I didn't know even, but every single person there knew every word and they were all totally into it. It was a beautiful thing to watch because I don't know what it is about something that has that amount of gravitas, because it's one thing saying we've all got over COVID, let's sing together. It's not the same as 5-6 years of terror. Are we all going to die? Are we all going to be killed? Are we all going to lose everything we've got? Is our country going to be lost? And then all of a sudden we are victorious. Whoa, you can't imagine that kind of woof when the whole place went up because suddenly the war was over and we were victorious of all things.
But it's even like mentioning there the music and the songs. The songs that were written then and the music that was out then was all uplifting. It was all to get people together and all to get people feeling good.
Yes.
They don't do music like that anymore. There's very few
different
artists who would write a song that makes you feel amazing. It's like the other night we were watching, it was the 80s and 90s or something, and it was all like the classics that everybody would rush to the dance floor.
Yeah.
Everybody would be up there. And so even from when I was young to what the music is now, gives you a completely different take on life.
Yeah, it's sad because what you'll find, and I don't know whether other people agree with this, but if you go to a wedding, a birthday, and they hire DJs to come in and play, they'll play some new stuff, to see how it works and see how it goes. But I guarantee you, the last
Straight back to
hour,
the old stuff.
the last hour of that gig will be Boogie Wonderland, Come On Eileen.
Yep.
And in some cases, even the occasional At the Hop, Danny and the Juniors play me from the 50s.
Yeah.
So it's the classics that live on. And I think that's quite sad, because they should be dancing to something brand new and devastating, but brand new's hard to find. Good brand new's hard
when
to
you
find.
think about the charts and that now,
Scary.
it's all about death, like sadness, like it's all like I love Adele, absolutely love her songs, but
I know what you mean.
you've got to be in the right mood.
Absolutely. It's funny because
Otherwise,
there were the odd
not
song
uplifting.
back in the day. There was the odd song, and you thought that was probably successful because it was miserable.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example of a song by a band that you probably never heard of called Rare Bird. They did a song called "And Sympathy is all I need, my friend, and sympathy is all I need." And you go, oh, hell's bell. And if ever that comes on one of the old stations, you go, no, just no.
Oh, yeah.
The other one that I really disliked was, and some people say it's my favourite song, Seasons in the Sun. Give me joy, give me fun, give me... He sings it like he's really peed off, but he's telling everybody, well, seasons in the sun.
Yeah, me.
There was another one, honey,
Give you the right message.
see the tree, how big it's grown. My friends, it hasn't been so long, but I miss her. Oh, whoa. So there's been some horrors, but I think they were only successful because there were horrors. Well, I'm feeling miserable, I'm going to buy that.
Yeah, but now it's all of them.
Yeah, I know.
It's like now I find myself, like when you go on to, like, I like Pink. She's one of my favourite artists. I love her songs.
We like Pink.
But it's kind of like you go through the lists and it's like, oh no, don't want that, don't want that, don't want that. And you end up going back to the 80s.
Absolutely.
And it could just be because that was my era, but like,
some go back. You see,
back
I
to
think
the 80s and you're bopping away.
I think you can do better. Truthfully, because I've always believed that it's not the style of music that counts. It's if you're able to work out what is classical music. I don't like all classical music, but I think I have the ability to pick out the best. And it's like jazz.
Yeah.
I don't like all jazz, but the jazz that I do like is amazing.
Yeah.
Reggae,
Yeah.
rock, thrash,
Yeah.
punk, funk, whatever. But the best of it's amazing. And I just think that we should be able to hear it all. It shouldn't be, well, we're just going to play this, or we should play everything, but just the good bits. And I don't think
and
you
then
can't
have those
fail.
moments.
You can't fail because
where,
then you're in
like,
the car and you hear, oh, listen.
That's it. You have those moments of like, oh yes, I love this one. Where now it's just like there aren't many radio stations that I listen to now. Shouldn't maybe say that when I'm on the radio.
That's
but
fair
there's not, because they're just
Playlisty.
It's all the same.
Playlisty.
Yeah,
Playlisty.
and you listen to 1 hour and then the next hour you think, have I just heard that song?
Well, if you wait long enough,
like,
you'll hear
oh,
it again.
it's on
That tends to be
it's
the
like
way.
repeat.
I heard one.
So,
I heard one from my childhood, and it's an odd song. It's not even a song. It's an odd tune, and it's called "Groovin' with Mr. Blow" by Mr. Blow. It was on Elton John's DJM label when he was early starting. It wasn't Elton John. It was a guy with a mouth organ and a backbeat, and that's all it was.
Right.
But when I was a little baba, I loved this song. It was out around the time that Sugar Sugar by the Archies was out.
Yeah.
If you know those kind of bubblegummy kind of things. And it just went, then a drum beat kind of. It was just, it's not a great piece of music, but I hadn't heard it for like 30 years. So then when you hear it, you go, oh, listen. Everybody else in the car, of course, went, What the hell is that? But to you, it was magnificent. You know, that's the thing.
Well, I was a bit like that with Def Leppard the other night. We ended up sitting and I haven't for ages. I've got all their albums and I haven't listened to them for ages and ages. And we just sat and went through them. And Rob, my hubby, he loads of them he hadn't heard.
Oh wow!
And he ended up then downloading all the albums and was like, oh yeah, I'm going to listen to these because I was obsessed. And it's just like, oh yeah. And it's great to go back sometimes, isn't it? And
yeah, absolutely.
But it's like Iron Maiden and stuff like that. Like I used to listen to Hot and Heavy every Friday night.
Great.
It was it was one of the things.
Happy days.
But yeah.
Hey, good stuff. Well, thank you very much, Alison. Lovely catching up as ever.
Okay, speak soon. You take care.
Get yourself on Google. Grooving with Mr. Blow. You'll see what I mean. Anyway.
I'm going to. I'm going to have a listen to that now.
Good luck. Thanks a lot, Alison. Take care. Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye.
There you go. And another one, if you like Def Leppard, and you should like Def Leppard, they were a rock band that everybody thought when they first arrived were American, and they were, in fact, British, Sheffield. Just absolutely amazing stuff they do. 0191 488 3188. I think as we're greatest hits and we're talking music, let's have a bit and let's go Motown. Right. Yeah, you can see Tony behind. So we've had the stick children that we've witnessed. Was that you playing with Teddy? Was that you playing with Ted? Was that you playing with Teddy?
The new best way to make money with Amazon in 2022 is with this method where you actually don't even sell anything on Amazon. Let me explain. Last year, me and my twin brother Rasmus, who's sitting right there, we discovered a brand new way to make.
Why don't you play with Gwen? Gwen's just down here. Gwendoline. You don't want to talk to Gwen? Maybe with Gwen having lost limbs, it's not something, do you know what I mean? Might be in slightly bad taste. Is that you, Kenny?
Yeah, it's me. I'm setting this up. Is that you touching the chair?
I just walk past the chair, brush past it. That's stopped now.
Where's the camera? You looked at the camera.
Put it in the hall.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Just because we're in here. Come on. Make the balls light if you're in here with us.
Turn the torch off just to see. Could be off something. Listening for things.
Come on, make a noise. Talk to us. We're here for you. Let's try that new camera on that mirror.
Yeah.
So that's just Tony putting it down so you can. Come on, Ted.
It was just where Gwen was. You can see nothing's in the seat. And there's a little man there.
Really?
Yeah. There, there.
Yeah. There he is.
Still there? Why that corner?
There, you see it?
Yeah. It's not going. It's recording. It's not going to
Oh,
change.
it won't change. Actually.
Why that corner though?
Oh. It's a kid. That's
When I first switched it on, it was just on top of Gwen. So maybe there is something playing down there.
Ted, you going to fire, Ted? Looks like there's nobody on the
I
chair.
know, that's it. It only picks up spirit and human.
Oh.
There. It's definitely that corner there. It's that corner, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a child here. You can see it clearly. What I wanted to do is try, and I know we run the risk of losing a busy, and I know a few people have been asking for the rods.
Yeah.
We'll use the rods in a minute.
I'll need to just keep it. I need to catch it.
I understand. We're going through to where the mirror is. Is that where you're going? Go. Come on, Ted. Now's your moment. You're on a few cameras now, Ted. You want to go? Those figures seem to have gone. That's Kenny.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's go to the mirror room.
I just get in view. I need to get the camera. Yeah. It's probably us because it's a mirror. Yeah, that's me.
You sure?
Yeah, that's exactly where I am.
See if the following
Sorry?
See if the following in here ability then? No?
Just you, I think, Ken.
Just me. So it's in there.
Why aren't they coming in here?
It's definitely not corner there.
What's that?
That's not the recording. You can change the filter that's on there. Then it's
Okay. Let's try in blue.
Can I get your shot?
Sure. That's you, Ken. Check one of my traps. It would be really impressive if you knocked it off right where we're looking. That would be amazing. Want to do that? don't know what range it has. Just looks like the horizon, doesn't it?
I think the sensor's at least about 5 meters.
5 meters. Is there anyone in here? Show yourself.
I think I know where they're going to be.
Me too.
Haven't really been up this end, have we?
No, not at
like up where there's toilets and stuff up here. I didn't. That would have been part of the factory.
Absolutely. Because if this is where they're playing, this is where they play.
I don't think there's anything in that main big hole.
Neither do I.
Oh, well, that's Kenny.
I think it's here in this room.
Oh, we're getting it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's back. It's in this.
Yeah, it's in this room.
It's just here. It's in the middle.
Looks like a slightly older child. It's not a small.
Voice of the North. Alan Robson's Night Owls. The phone-in that gets you talking.
Greatest hits radio.
Now, not very many of you getting this correct. So, 4 clues, 4 songs. See if you can. If you rise in the morning, this is what you may do later. Okay? Second clue, what you might say to a boy or girlfriend if you'd like them to stay the night. Third clue, what somebody tells you when you ask directions. If they know, they might say this. And the fourth clue, the female royal in a pack of cards in black, but not spades. Okay, 4 clues, 4 songs. Whose hits, whose greatest hits were there? 0191 488 3188. Now, on here, sometimes you can get somebody's name, and underneath the name, a little something about what they might be ringing up about. This says, Tony, a strange person in the car. Yes, I know he is. Hello, Tony.
That about sums me up.
It says what it is on the tin, that's for sure.
Oh, believe me, this is stranger than me.
Give over. Do tell. What's the crack then?
Oh, crikey. So it started off as a bit of a sad story. This person was, I'm not going to tell you who it is. This person was telling us a sad story about the little dog had to be put down on New Year's Eve.
Oh, right.
And it's only 7 years old, this poor little dog, and, you know, and it's this tiny little thing. And the lady's devastated, and she gets her ex-partner to come round and bury the little dog in the garden.
Right.
So that's just ticking along like it's a sad story. However, things take a dodgy turn when on the Sunday night, she's still so upset about it, she digs the poor little thing back up, wraps it in a blanket and takes it to bed with her for the night.
Oh, what?
Honestly. And then reburies it on the Monday. And I thought, God, I hope this isn't going to be a weekend event every week. Can you imagine? Why would you do that?
No.
Honestly, I'm like, oh, no, it's time you need to get out my car. I've never driven this so fast in my life. Oh, my word, man.
I remember seeing this. There was a story, and it apparently true, about this Chinese guy who asked the government permission. He said he wanted to bury. Now, that means dig a hole, put in. He wanted to bury his wife at his home.
Yeah.
Chinese authority says, yes, you can bury your wife at home. Or you can keep your wife. The letter actually said something like, yes, the government gives you the right to keep the body of your wife on your premises. Now, didn't say...
Didn't live in a third floor flat, did he?
Didn't say, well, funnily enough, it wasn't a third floor flat. But it was a block of flats they lived in.
Oh,
and so when he said bury, I presume he meant outside the block of flats somewhere. What he ended up doing was he got an airtight coffee table made.
Oh, my word.
With his wife's remains in it. And he believed that if he had the wife embalmed and then put in an airtight space, she'd not deteriorate at all. Well, she deteriorated all right. And every day she was getting slightly rougher and rougher and rougher and rougher.
Oh, my word.
And somebody notified the Chinese authorities who said, we said you could keep her there, but not like this.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've got a letter I can stop her.
But that
he could have stuck her in the window box, I suppose, couldn't he?
It was no, but he had her about 7 months before he was ordered to. And his friends used to come in and then used to have, and he said we used to have coffee with her every morning. And you're thinking, not really with her, more honor, I think, is probably what it was.
Can you take your feet off me, mate?
Yeah, could you imagine bringing your new girlfriend home? Oh, dear.
It wasn't glass topped, was it?
It was. It was completely. That was the whole point, so that he could be close to his.
Oh my God!
Oh,
honestly, I can't. You just. What goes through these people's heads? I thought that was just the weirdest thing I've heard in donkey years. Like, I've heard some weird crap in this car.
No, not funny.
But I'm thinking, you think this is quite normal? Oh, yes, and I got it and I wrapped in the blanket and I slept all night in the bed. And I'm my. And then I start thinking with Pet Cemetery. You remember the film? I'd be this thing coming back from the deed, this little Jack Russell Canella, thinking, oh my God.
But surely it was a bit whiffy, even because all your bodily functions kind of,
Well, they just leak good, didn't they? That's it. You let go of the whole lot, like so. But you wrapped in a blanket, so that must be all right.
No, not really, not at any level. Is that what's going to happen when your horse passes over?
Can you? Oh, horse's head in the bed? No, I can't have that.
No, I don't think so.
I've got five of the buggers. That'd be a big bed, wouldn't it?
Oh my goodness, that's a herd. You got a herd.
It is a herd. It is a herd.
Wow.
There you go. But actually, May Garden, joking aside, May Garden's a bit of a pet cemetery because you know how long I've been there. nearly 30 years.
Right.
And there's a couple of goats, a sheep. There's about 7 dogs in there.
Wow.
There's
do you have headstones, little petty headstones?
No, Christ, no. Can you imagine the neighbours when they think, I already think I'm a big cracker. No, they're all, we know where they are. We've got one actual part of the garden that's just for the animals, So that's where
the neighbours will look over the fence and say, Rusty,
what the
Rover.
What the hell is he doing now?
And that end one's for his missus when she goes, dear.
That's what I've been planning. If I keep digging these holes and burying things, they'll not notice then, will they? You think, the nutter's out with his shovel again and not miss up a week.
Everybody's like that. I do have the worst story in the world, and it's absolutely true. Mate of mine, I've only got a minute, so I'll tell it as quick as I can. Mate of mine in concert, pet dog dies, beloved by the kids. He's got 3 kids. They all love the animal, and the dog dies, so he thinks, I'll bury it in the garden, starts digging a hole, but unfortunately didn't realise his garden only has like a foot of soil. Then it's concrete, so he could only get down a foot, and the dog was 2 foot. So he looks at his watch, he's been digging for like 2-3 hours. He's only got this little tiny hole, and he has the bus pulling up outside with the bands coming, playing off the school bus. And the hole's not big enough. So what he had to do was snap the dog's legs to get it into the hole, isn't it?
Oh, the poor little thing.
Well, it was dead, in fairness, but... didn't want the kids to see the dead dog, terrifying.
Horrendous.
It is. So I think we're strange at both ends, I think, is fair to say, Tony. Thank you for calling anyway.
Thanks for having me. Catch you later.
All the best. Bye-bye.
Hey, Tara.
How about that? So, awful, horrible story, I know, but it was true. Awful, awful, awful. Let's end with an absolute classic. It's Peter Gabriel. You have 4 minutes to answer whose hits that was while he's sledgehammering you.